Occam's razor is often known as the law of simplicity, aka the simplest answer is usually the correct one. It's supposed to be this principle in solving life's greatest problems. People have definitely oversimplified Occam's razor to hell and back, and they think it just means keep it simple. It's technically a misinterpretation, and I do find philosophy majors to be beautifully insufferable, but I can see why they get frustrated at the way that we've just turned Occam's razor into simple. The main message of Occam's razor is if you have two competing hypotheses that equally explain the observed data, the one with the fewer assumptions should be the one that's selected. The emphasis is on having fewer assumptions rather than just picking the simpler one. That's why it's called Occam's razor. Occam, after William of Occam, the philosopher who popularized this method, and razor, because you're supposed to shave away at all of the assumptions to get to the meat, the core of the matter. I see people referencing Occam's razor for the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez and singer D4vd, aka David, that the simplest answer is the correct one, which I tend to agree that the very circumstantial evidence so far, at least the way that it's being presented by alleged sources close to the two, the way that it's being presented thus far, it does not look good for David. But even if that is the case, it's not a simple answer. How are you supposed to shave away at all the different assumptions when the entire case is just a giant ball of assumptions at this point? Such as of right now, the police have yet to confirm a relationship between David and Celeste. So that's technically, that whole thing is an assumption. There are screenshots, videos, pictures, people coming forward to allege that they were intimately connected. Some netizens believe that they might have known each other since she was 11 years old, which would have been back in 2021. That's an assumption. Then there's the assumption that there's another Celeste in David's life. I will say that this is less of an assumption, but no statements have been made by either party, and we will operate as basically everything is an assumption aside from the handful of things that we absolutely know to be true. That there is another Celeste, and people are calling her the other Celeste, second Celeste, decoy Celeste, older Celeste. Netizens say that the two girls look very similar, and when you look at the pictures of just their faces, they don't look familiar, but there is a belief that both Celeste would often wear similar things, such as the same Gap hoodie, or at least it looks like the same Gap hoodie, the one that Celeste is pictured in, her missing child poster. Both of them have been spotted wearing it, giant oversized eyeglasses. And there are theories and speculations that David did this on purpose, that he brought in an adult Celeste, an adult woman named Celeste, who could maybe sometimes pass for the victim Celeste, so that if he is ever quote unquote exposed for allegedly dating a minor, he could turn around and say, you guys have it wrong. My girlfriend is an adult woman named Celeste. They just look the same. They have similar names, but that's it. That's a theory. That's an assumption. And once you shave off all of that, there's like nothing left in the middle. There's the only core of the matter that we have so far as of filming this is September 8th, 2025 of this year, while David is out on his world tour, still based in the US before starting his European leg. Back in Hollywood Hills, his Tesla gets impounded. Neighbors of a residential street close to where David's manager rents a house that is most likely for David. It's $20,000 a month. Near that house, neighbors report David's Tesla of just being parked all around the street for about at least 3 weeks. And then eventually it just stopped moving. So they had it impounded. It had Texas license plates. Nobody had reported the car missing. And then employees of the tow yard, Hollywood Tow, they call the police because they say, hey, something is funky fresh scent in here. Like the scent of this is emanating from the trunk. The police come and they discover a dead body in the car. The car has not been reported stolen, and David is not in Los Angeles. He is out on tour. Even how the body has been found, at least to the public, is a giant assumption. Some reports, such as the LA Times, initially stated it was just a head and a torso. Other outlets have been using the word dismembered or in pieces, but nobody can seem to agree. Is it just a head and a torso? Is the body dismembered? LAPD and the medical examiner's office have been so quiet about this entire situation. The cause of death has been deferred. They're not even outright calling this a homicide investigation, but rather a death investigation that is being handled by the LAPD robbery and homicide unit.
Except in one statement.
Yes, they made a little slip in a statement where they said anytime you're dealing with a homicide investigation, but they have not formally stated like this is a homicide investigation. They're saying actually it could take weeks or months to even determine if a crime had been committed, which people are questioning even that because what do you mean nobody goes into a trunk by themselves?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. David's spokesperson releases a very short statement that states along the lines of, David has been informed he's cooperating with the police, which leads initially a lot of people to believe that David is not involved, especially considering he continues his tour. He does multiple shows. He does a show September 9th. But there are growing questions. We know the body is a female in the trunk. She allegedly has a sh tattoo on her finger. It's alleged that David has the same tattoo. Now, I know that there are so many new reports saying that TMZ made that up and David does not have a sh tattoo. It's hard to find a lot of...
means S-H-H-H.
Yeah, like you put it on your right index finger to like hush. Rihanna popularized it, but there have been reports that TMZ lied about him having a sh tattoo. People are pointing to how on Instagram pictures you don't see it. So some are saying, well, maybe he recently got it. Some are saying, well, maybe he edits it out of his Instagram pictures. Others are saying, and this is my opinion, if this is true, if all of this is no longer there, I had a finger tattoo. It went away really quickly. Some people metabolize the ink differently, but that's been a whole debate. So allegedly, he had a same matching tattoo. Then it's not until September 17th, 2025, that the body is identified as 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This is again an assumption though, because her body was discovered September 8th. The medical examiner states that it's her belief that she had been in the car for some time. Celeste's birthday is September 7th, the day before her body is found. It is unlikely that she saw her 15th birthday. So now even some media sources...
Part of that is an assumption, you mean?
The medical examiner and a lot of media sources, they still kind of categorize her age closer to 15. Most mainstream media sources are saying 15-year-old because it was past her birthday and they're going off the date that her body is found. So I think medically speaking, that's how they do it. Mainstream media is going with that, but it's likely that she was technically 14.
Yeah, she never made it to 15.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's technically a 14-year-old's body, but it's just even that.
But even that, we don't know. Is it 14 or 13? Like,
yeah, we don't know.
Was it 14? Like she went missing...
Friends say that they had contact with her July of 2025, so she would have been 14.
Okay.
But we cannot confirm even that.
Yeah.
We don't know who these friends are. The police haven't talked to them. They haven't verified metadata of text messages or calls. And even text messages, you can't prove that it's Celeste texting people. It's just very tricky. No one knows really the time of death. We can confirm. The only thing I will say is, this is the latest confirm that I got of someone seeing her. There's visual and a video that's been uploaded, was July of last year.
24?
Yes.
Oh.
So it's all over the place. I mean, we really don't know. But regardless, her body is identified and David stops his tour. He makes no further statements. But judging by his wording of news outlets, his spokesperson is no longer the one that's being reached. It is his attorney. The Hollywood Hills rental home is searched by the authorities 2 days after that. They are seen walking out of his house with evidence bags, electronics, and they say that they are exploring all potential avenues. David has, at least at the time of recording this, has not been named a suspect. He has not been detained. He has not been arrested. He has not made any further statements. David has now moved out of the Hollywood Hills house that his manager was renting. The property owner states, they're moving out this week. The moving trucks will be here soon. They decided to move out because of the ongoing circumstances. They didn't want to be here anymore. But nothing more. Celeste's family have been very quiet as well publicly, and a lot of assumptions are being made by the internet. The police are quiet. David and his team are quiet. Celeste's family are quiet. This case has so many assumptions and coincidences and connections that I think that most people are uncomfortable with it. It just feels like maybe if there's one piece of circumstantial evidence, it's weird. But when you have 50 and then you have new ones coming out every hour, it's hard to remain completely neutral. And so with these elements, netizens have come up with a few theories. 5 theories to be exact. 1, he killed her for fame, a Hollywood sacrifice. 2, he's innocent. 3, he's involved, but maybe not first-degree murder. Perhaps there was an overdose. Perhaps there was something else that happened, that he did not physically outright kill her. 4, this is a multi-part theory. David is guilty. I will say, again, he has not been arrested. There is a presumption of innocence until proven guilty in the court of law that everyone should receive, but this is just a theory. But there are theories that if he is guilty, it was due to his sick jealousy, or maybe perhaps she realized that she was being groomed and was ready to tell someone, or she was pregnant. And 5, there is a lot more that we don't know, and perhaps other people are connected. I will say the theories range from creations of somebody in a desperate need of going outside, just crazy, to plausible. But this is what the internet thinks happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the 14-year-old little girl found deceased in the trunk of David's car. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They are the nation's largest and most influential child protection organization. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support our growing team, and we'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. A few disclaimers. There are going to be allegations of grooming, SA, CSA, as well as themes like gore. There's also a brief mention of potential dismemberment and decomp. Also, another huge part of this is that there have been zero convictions, zero arrests, zero anything. I mean, we really have nothing besides what the authorities have said in their very brief, very polished press briefings. That's it. We will be doing our very best to debunk or verify all of the online rumors, and there are so many online rumors. And then right when you think a rumor has been somewhat verified, it seems like most people believe it, and then someone comes out and tries to debunk it, and then it sounds plausible. And so things are going to be moving and things are going to be changing nonstop. So I don't even know how dated this episode is going to be. So just keep that in mind. I mean, in a month, everything could be different. We'll just have to see. We also want to disclaim that all screenshots or media posted by people online can be edited or faked. We did our best to try and verify everything, but I mean, I'm not an expert on how AI creates pictures or deepfakes. I've tried my best to make sure we get to the original tweet or the original source and then see if there's anybody pointing out anything that's clearly, obviously AI generated. But even that has been very difficult. So with that being said, let's get started. One of David's neighbors decides that they're going to talk to the media about David and Celeste and what they saw. But they're going to be unnamed, which makes sense. But they're also going to talk to The Sun, which is a very questionable outlet. It's like the Daily Mail. So take it as you will, but they speak to The Sun and they allege that Celeste, the victim, the 14-year-old girl, was living with 20-year-old David in his Hollywood Hills house. They say he was with the girl regularly, like all the time. I would be in my car and we would acknowledge each other, say hi. That was about it. When they were heading to the store or whatever, I would pass them. They were pretty quiet. I never saw police there. I didn't hear them partying or anything, nothing wild. I was shocked to find out what happened. I saw them a couple of months ago. I'm not sure, but I thought they were just kids, like a couple of 18, 19-year-olds. I had no idea. It's crazy.
So this is only reported by The Sun?
Yes.
So that's it. We don't know who they are.
Yeah. We don't know if they're a real neighbor. We don't know if this is actually what they saw. You know, I didn't know he was a singer, but I knew he had a Tesla because it was always parked outside. This Tesla has a giant dent on the back. That has been confirmed. He says, I did ask him about his Tesla, as his car was hit and he never fixed it. He didn't really want to say what happened. Anytime I tried to talk to them, they weren't very engaging. They just kept to themselves. But now netizens are confused. Like, why are you talking to The Sun? I mean, how trustworthy is The Sun? And second, are we sure this is the Celeste or the other Celeste? He claims it's the missing girl. He claims it's the girl that was found. But is he sure? Are we sure? Is The Sun even sure? We don't know. David's digital footprint is also extensive, to the point that I don't know if he's ever had a singular thought that has not been spoken into a Discord server somewhere out in the ether. But Celeste does not have a lot of pictures of her out there where her face is not covered. Typically her face is covered. There are barely any videos of her. The old picture, okay, so there's a lot of pictures of her when she was younger. She's already young, but even younger. So there's almost more childhood photos of her than there are of her at 13 years old, 14 years old. There's barely any videos of her, and the ones that are popping up now, she appears to cover her face most of the time. It's just so hard to get a good look at her face is the feeling. So when more alleged pictures and videos come out, it's hard to definitively say that looks like Celeste with David. People have been trying to organize a big document of all the reported sightings that are real and or debunked, but it's getting difficult. One comment reads, "That's the thing. We practically have nothing on this girl. We know that she had a habit of running away from home. She disabled her Instagram a lot, and she covered her face a lot." To which someone comments, what's sad is she only seemed to exist in David's world. Like she didn't have anything outside of his world. And even in his world, she would have to hide and play small. There are a lot of screenshots where it's just hard to tell anything. There's this screenshot taken of a Discord chat from March 12th, 2023. This is almost exactly a year before she goes missing, 2.5 years before she's found deceased. It's a screenshot of a screenshot. Just stay with me. Someone screenshots a picture of the Discord chat. And one person had screenshotted David during his live stream.
Okay.
And they posted that screenshot onto the Discord server as a message.
Yep.
And it's David live streaming in the most pink room you'll ever see. It's just glowing LED light pink. It's dark. You can't see anything in there. You can barely see David, but he's leaned up close to the camera. He takes up like half the picture. And then behind him is this girl sitting and she's covering most of her face with a blanket or what appears to be like a jacket. Now, this screenshot is posted to Discord allegedly March 12th, 2023. That would be when Celeste is 13 years old. Along with the comment, hey, who's the girl? David responds allegedly. This is what the screenshot depicts. He allegedly responds, you are a fed.
Wow.
And all we have is a screenshot of that screenshot within a screenshot.
That's crazy.
Then there's another one where it shows David taking a selfie with the caption, absolutely mogged. And next to him appears to be a girl who appears to be Celeste. Her face is entirely covered almost. You can just see her eyebrows by a Louis Vuitton purse. You only see her curly hair. Like you see lots of her curly hair. And so that makes people believe it's Celeste because she has to cover her face and she has curly hair. It's gotten to the point where even the accessories are being analyzed as clues because people are trying to track where this Louis Vuitton bag is. I think it was last seen in a TikTok that David filmed in 2024. So people are saying, well, maybe Celeste is definitely alive and with him at this time. Or others are saying he could have gifted her the bag and then taken it. Even accessories like bracelets. David is seen wearing a stack of bracelets, which appears to have also been worn by Celeste. Or Celeste's love for Hello Kitty that David seems to have adopted. People are looking for anything. And then there's just a slew of pictures that have since gone viral where it appears to be them together, and those have all been quickly debunked. So either it's not David and Celeste, and it just maybe looks like David and Celeste, and it's pictures of like the back frame. So for one, it was a guy and a girl shopping in a mall, and they're looking at a Hello Kitty stand. And people are saying that this is David and Celeste. It's not David and Celeste. That's been debunked. Another one is a real legitimate picture of Celeste that somebody took, and then David has been photoshopped in. So there have been lots of these pictures that have been coming, like I would say a good chunk, I don't even know if we can trust them. And then another good chunk, we don't even know if it's Celeste. For example, there is a video where David and a girl are inside of this arcade. People are recording them and people are saying, look, it looks like Celeste and it looks like she's hiding. It looks like David is trying to get her away from the camera. But this seems to be the adult Celeste. If you look at her hair is in braids. It looks more like the adult Celeste. Her facial features, she just definitely looks older as well. And so there have been all of these different things that have come out, and it's unclear who is the Celeste. I will say there are two pictures that people believe are the real Celeste. So one of them is a FaceTime screenshot. Whoever is FaceTiming David takes a screenshot, and they caption it, Celeste and David don't let me sleep. And you see both David and Celeste like peering into the camera.
And you can tell it looks like the young Celeste?
Yes, this looks like victim Celeste, but again, we don't know if this is a real picture, if it's been edited.
But then this person, whoever took the snap,
yeah,
we don't know who that is either.
Yeah.
That is so strange that so many people around them know about what's going on, but everyone's so quiet.
A lot of his friends have come out.
Oh, yeah?
A group of his friends have come out to say that they thought Celeste was 19. They thought she was in college and they understood her to be attending USC.
Okay. So okay.
But again, we don't know if they're talking about 19 or 23-year-old Celeste.
But they're probably talking about the young Celeste. Otherwise, why would they say, I thought she was in college? Right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
And even the other Celeste, if she can just verify when her and David got together.
So that is why there's a lot of new theories that are happening. I will say the other Celeste has probably been receiving a lot of intense opinions and feedback from the internet. I think that benefit of the doubt should be given, as she probably could be working with authorities and could be telling them everything and has been told not to say anything, even if she doesn't know the other Celeste, even if she has no idea what the relationship between David and the other Celeste might have been, could have been, we don't know. If she knows nothing, she honestly just could have been involved with a guy who's involved with a whole lot of other things. And she did not know. So it's likely that she's working with the authorities, but because she has not said anything and because people think it would be so easy for her to come out and say, actually, that's me at the arcade. Yeah. That's not me. So whoever that's in the picture, that's weird. People are saying that's so easy for you to do. And if you haven't done that, does that mean something weird is like, do you know something we don't know? Do you know something we shouldn't know? Yeah. So this picture, this FaceTime picture seems to be, most netizens are on the belief that this is the real Celeste. Then there's another picture where it shows him posting on Instagram to close friends. And it's a picture, a mirror selfie with allegedly Celeste. You can't even tell it's David. You can't even tell because his hood is covering his head. His phone is covering the entirety of his face. And Celeste, who appears to be snuggling up to him, is covering her face with her hand. So but she has curly hair. It looks like them, and most people do believe it is them. These are the two pictures that, as of right now, are the least contested on the internet, along with this Instagram picture. This is a very real Instagram picture. It's David posing for the camera. I showed you the picture. It's like at a party. With the flash on, and there is a girl behind him with curly red hair, and she has a headscarf on. Yep. You see her side profile, and even then, she's covering her face with her hand. So you can't really see her, but people believe that to be the real Celeste. This picture is legitimate. It's just debated whether or not this is Celeste. The reddish hair, there is also another video that surfaced from June 27th of 2024, and it's David's little brother, and who appears to be Celeste with a head pulled over her head, walking backstage to David's, yes, the concert.
Right. That one, I feel like I can see the resemblance so clearly. Yeah. You told me the guy was David's brother, younger brother? Younger brother. And then the girl, just through the eyes, it looks very much like the real Celeste. And
then now people are saying anytime you see a girl with a hood covered over her face or covering her face a lot in pictures and videos, a lot of people take that to mean it's Celeste. Because even in that concert video, she doesn't cover her face because I don't even think she knows someone's recording. But when someone calls David's little brother's name, she looks back and she looks timid and she's got the hood covered over her face and she's like, what's happening? And then she like goes into backstage. So people are saying the older Celeste, she never really hides her face.
Yeah.
Because she probably doesn't need to.
Right. I see the theory on that.
So anytime you see a girl who's covering her face, and then there have been problems because David has another friend, two friends actually, who have wavy curly hair. I mean, this is not like a very rare hair type, right? And so they will be pictured in the back of photos, but you just see their curly hair. And so people are saying that's Celeste, right? But I think when you just see their back, it's hard to say. People are saying when you see some of her face and it's covered, it's likely Celeste. Is the internet theory. We could be completely wrong. People also believe that the live stream where a girl is next to David saying, is it controversial of you kids? That is most likely the real Celeste.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
it's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
But as of filming this, the most recent sighting of Celeste that can be confirmed was posted on TikTok by a family friend of Celeste onto her personal TikTok account. And she posted it back in July of 2024.
Okay.
Meaning this can be pretty much dated, right? It's not like all this news is coming out and she posts this and we're like, we don't know if this is from a year ago, 3 years ago. We don't know. The video was posted at least a few months after Celeste is reported missing. And in the video, you see, it's like a very long video of a family gathering in someone's backyard. And then you see Celeste come into frame. And at the very end, she's on her phone. She says hi to the adults briefly. She looks uncomfortable. And then she glances at the camera filming behind her. She looks very uncomfortable. The comments of the original video have been turned off. However, However, other people have been reposting it. And I mean, there's a lot of comments. There are some people debating whether or not Celeste lied to David about her age, which I will say I agree with most comments of she looks like a baby. I mean, I don't know why people think that she could get away with lying as being a college student. Some people have been making remarks about her body type, her body figure. She literally looks like a baby. Like if you look at her face, she looks like a child. I don't know how else to put it. Other people have been agreeing with me and they're commenting, she literally looks like a child. If you look at her face. So even if she ever lied about her age, look at her. She's a baby. People are using the Cardi B meme because they're like, just look at her. Like she's a baby. What are these people saying that she lied about her age and David is innocent? And another thing, I will say side note, even if she did lie about her age, as mentioned before, there is a belief that Celeste used multiple fake IDs to get around and to go to parties. I think it's one thing if you're at a party where there's so many people around. Everyone has to be 18 and up to get in. I don't think I'd be looking and going, I don't know if you're 18 because there's so much happening. But I think when you sit down and you get to know someone, if they're lying and they're saying that they're 19, but they're actually 13, 14, I think within an hour, you're getting a little suspicious. It's just the amount of development that happens in those years. It's not really something that you can lie about easily. So that's just to say there might be people who have met the real Celeste at parties, at events, at gatherings. And I don't think it's necessarily their fault if they did not know that she was 13 or 14. But I'm saying if you're in an intimate setting with someone and you see their face up close and you're talking to them, having a conversation with them, it's very clear when someone is of a certain age. Other people are commenting about that video. How did Celeste's family know that she was around? This is after she's been reported missing last year. One comment is just focused on that, and they're saying it doesn't make any sense. Like, do her parents not care? Do her family not care? There have been lots of people very upset with Celeste's family about not having better care for their child. There has been discourse that I don't think that I can necessarily get involved with of how different types of minority families will often treat their daughters like adults too early. So that's been a huge discussion in certain communities. And I can see how that could be applicable even in like an East Asian household. But then also there have been conversations of her dad is back and forth from Mexico, that he's not even in the country most of the time. Her mother does not speak English well. And they are of a socioeconomic class where the police don't really necessarily take them seriously. Also, if her mom does not speak English, perhaps she knew that Celeste was dating someone named David. I also think that it's a very tricky balance of trying to get your daughter or your children to not do something by telling them to not do something. It's very hard because you could be pushing them to run away more because you're being too restrictive. I'm sure, I don't know, I'm not a parent, but I just imagine that there is a lot of complicated things. And I don't know if jumping to conclusions is the best part, but I do think that there could have been a lot done to help Celeste. And I think we can probably place blame more on the person who harmed her, and then the police. And then as of right now, nothing has come out about the family as what we know. But there are people alleging that her family was paying her out, that they were receiving money from David, that her sister specifically paid her out. That becomes a huge topic of conversation because it's a comment on Reddit that started gaining a lot of traction. This is about David after a body is found in his trunk, but before the body is identified. Okay, which side note, can I just do a disclaimer? I will say I am one of the first people to blame parents. I think when you have children and you bring another human being into this world, it is your duty to protect them. And there's really little room for error when it comes to something as big as like this, protecting them from people like David. If they had known that David is an adult, Celeste is a child. I get it. I get where the anger can come from with people just upset with her family. But I think the problem is, there's a lot of things that we don't know that have not been confirmed, and then the allegations are just growing larger and larger. I think the initial few days, the anger with Celeste's family was more so, how could they let her run away multiple times? How could they know that she's dating someone named David and do nothing about it? And David is an adult. Like, how do they not know who her boyfriend is? And if they knew that he's an adult, they shouldn't let them date. There's reasonable emotion there. Yeah. But I think it's just ballooned into their her out, they're selling her, they knew and they didn't care because David's rich, they set it up. Like there's so many allegations. And I think the problem with these allegations is if this is a family who clearly is not on the internet and they're getting this influx of hatred all of a sudden, they might be more reluctant to talk to the police and tell them everything because they might get paranoid that they did something legally wrong. They did something criminally punishable. Of not protecting their daughter enough. And like, even if they did something criminally punishable, they should be able to tell the police so that justice can be served there and it could help serve justice for Celeste. So I think it's a lot right now. Like everywhere I look, the rhetoric is getting very intense. And I think a lot of it stems from this comment. Not that anything is wrong with this comment, but I think this is the proof that netizens are using to kind of funnel this narrative, which the day after a body is found in David's trunk, before the body is identified, there is a Reddit comment. This guy's a weirdo. A close friend's little sister from Lake Elsinore ran away last year, and this is who she was with. We think her sister was her out. She was in the 7th grade at the time and LAPD sweeped his place in the hills. I'm terrified. That's who's in the car. Nobody has heard from her in months. I won't release names as she's still a minor, but she was from Lake Elsinore. People were actually initially upset with the OP because this is before Celeste is identified, writing, I strongly doubt this is true. He has a very public social media presence and there's no one underage in his road crew. I've only heard good things about David from tour and venue staff. Don't stuff posts like this with all the speculation going around. You're gonna just feed wild witch hunts like this. To which OP responds, it isn't speculation. It literally happened. I don't really care if you've heard nice things about him. That has no impact on my personal negative experience. Well, the victim has been identified as female, wavy black hair, and a tattoo. Mean anything to you? I'm really not trying to release any identifying information because it absolutely sounds like her and my heart is broken. I don't want to mess anything up regarding the investigation, and I'm actually reaching out to LAPD today.
Whoa, wow.
Speaking of, another person who allegedly David was following on Instagram posted a comment, prayers to her family. I used to be close friends with David and we dated when I was 16 and he was 18. We've seen each other IRL 2 times max and there's so much more, but he introduced me to religion and whatnot. So I'm shaken up by the fact that he could have done this. I remember a Celeste. I have a picture of them together. I think I've seen in the past. Then another clip of an interview. So these are things that are going viral as of recently after the last video that I filmed. There is a video clip of David playing Fortnite and the host asks him questions. David, who do you want to collaborate with? And David, as he's playing Fortnite, he's saying, I want to collaborate with a jazz musician named Celeste. He says, I want to do something with Celeste. I really want to do something with Celeste. And then he kind of, and then he kind of zones out. And then he goes, and maybe, what's his name? I got distracted for a second. My fault. Wait, Steven Sanchez too.
Speaking like jazz musicians that I would love to collab with, I want to do something with Celeste.
Okay.
I really want to do something with Celeste. And maybe, what's his name? I got distracted for a second. My fault.
Wait, how?
Steven Sanchez too.
Okay.
So people are pointing to this video and saying, is he getting distracted because he's thinking about the real Celeste? Or is it Fortnite?
So there is a jazz
There is.
singer.
I looked into it and she's very talented. Much older, yes. But another element to this case is Celeste's brother allegedly told someone that Celeste would tell the family that this David guy keeps promising to marry her when she turns 18. So he allegedly says that. There is now a deleted account on Discord that posted a picture of themselves wearing an engagement ring with the name David tattooed in red ink on their finger. And that is suspected of being Celeste's account. That same deleted user, remember, apparently responded to a happy birthday post from September 7th, which is Celeste's birthday. But now there's another picture circulating of an Instagram account named Hello Kitty Life Girl at a restaurant. They story something. It's at a restaurant and you see David. I mean, it's David. He's waiting for food. He's on his phone and she just takes a picture and it shows her hand and there is a ring on her left finger.
What kind of ring?
It's like a small diamond ring.
Like an engagement ring looking?
It looks
ring?
like an engagement ring.
Huh.
Yeah, it does.
So like a single stone, right?
Yes.
Like okay.
So then people are speculating, okay, maybe this is Celeste's old Instagram account. And people are saying, if she had the name David tattooed on her ring finger, left ring finger, would that not immediately be reported? Because she's found in David's car, has a tattoo of David
Also,
on
David,
her hand.
Is it D4vd?
Yeah.
Okay.
which would be his government name.
Okay.
So it's David tattooed. So then people are saying, why would that not be immediately reported? Right when the body is identified, it would be reported. They have a tattoo and a David tattoo and happen to be found in the trunk of a singer named David's car. Wouldn't that be the whole news argument, and news stations would go crazy with it? But then this is adding to the speculation that not all parts of Celeste were found. So people are saying, if you were to do something to Celeste and you happen to have the name David, you would not keep the part that's tattooed David. Or others are saying it's red ink. It could have easily been absorbed. So I had a red ink tattoo on my finger. It was gone really quickly. So people are saying maybe it didn't show up. Maybe it wasn't around at that time. Maybe she got it removed. Maybe it's not her in these pictures.
Or decomp.
Yeah, or decomp. Like, there's so many different things. So nothing can be firm. Nothing can be said with wholeheartedness. But that adds to the theory that they were very serious, is this netizen theory. Not only were they talking, but it seemed like they're in a full-blown relationship. And this is important because some people are saying, well, maybe David didn't know her age. And some people might agree if maybe they talked online for 2 months and then he saw her once in real life and was like, whoa, you are not 19. But this is showing a little bit more severity of the relationship if all of these things are true. Then another TikTok that's been circulating is an old interview of David where he's asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? At that point, Celeste would be 18.
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying? Why are you saying that like you're not like up there, gang?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I go on crazy year after year for the next 3 years, and then on the 4th year I retire. And on the 5th year I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib, no social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone.
So now people are wondering, Celeste's brother allegedly said David told Celeste that they would get married when she turns 18. Celeste was allegedly posting with a diamond ring on her left finger. And then David starts talking about how in 5 years, which is when Celeste would be around 18, that he wants to go off the grid, no social media, no digital footprint. Is that a promise that he allegedly made her, is what netizens are wondering? What does this all mean? A lot of the comments naturally are just poking at the island comment though, asking, are you talking about Epstein's island? But again, all of this is just online, circumstantial. I don't even know if you could call it evidence, just connections being made. And of course, we have to break down their alleged relationship using subliminal messages that have been interpreted from social media posts and even his music. So I'm just going to run through a brief timeline. This has just been compiled. This is a huge point of contention. David tweets, when I was writing this, I got a notification from you as you were talking about wanting to be with your mom and your sister again. Take me where I belong. But our circumstances won't allow us to be in our ideal situations. We gotta push through it, bro. Fingers crossed emoji, black heart emoji.
Wait, where is this message from?
This is David's tweet. So he's saying like, as I was writing this, I got a notification from you and you said that you want to be with your mom and your sister. And a lot of people are operating under the assumption that he killed Celeste. So people are saying, did he kill her because she wanted to go back home for real this time? Is this something that he gets upset about? Then April 13th, 2023, Sleep Well, the music video goes live on YouTube. The love interest looks very much like Celeste. And again, it could just be another coincidences, but it's a lot of coincidences. While promoting his new song, Sleep Well, he's reposting things on TikTok. Like POV, the friend you left in season 2 shows up in season 5. So netizens are saying it does look like if you go through David's music and the stuff that he's posting and reposting on TikTok, it looks like he goes through relationship swings where if it is with Celeste or maybe he's with multiple different people, we don't know. But it seems like he has moments of like, oh, my first Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, when your girlfriend won't post you, so I'll post myself. And then to just like reposting massive amounts of breakup TikToks.
Okay.
So people are putting together the timeline and they're saying the friend you left in season 2 shows up in season 5. So does that mean Celeste is back in his life? Because there isn't a lot from 2022 between the two of them that people have found connections in. And again, loosely connections. Then another one where this is a TikTok, where it's a couple joking about running back to their exes while his song Sleep Well is playing in the back. So people are saying, okay, during the Sleep Well period, maybe Celeste is back in his life. Notable lyrics to the song that people think are in reference to Celeste are, I'm here for you still, even if you don't think that I'm near, I'll still be right next to you, my dear. And the way you make me feel has the power to make the whole world stand still. Who's to say that our love ain't real? Again, people are like, who's to say? Because they can't be public. And people are drawing inferences to this lyric. Don't be scared. There's no such thing as fear. Netizens think that this song is them reconnecting in 2023. However, I will say David says in an interview about the song, it feels like the beginning of a dream. The whole premise of the project is a delusional relationship, like you're in a delusion throughout the whole thing. And there's elements of don't forget about me and like dreams, is this real? The host explains, I mean, when you listen to the song, it's almost like, and I mean this as a compliment, there's a creepiness to it. You sleep well, I'm watching. David says he wants to make sure that the songs in his album make you transition through this love-hate relationship. And this one seems kind of like a lullaby almost. And then there's another way that he's been promoting this song. There's one TikTok that he posts where it shows him leaned up against a white wall and a projector is displaying an image behind him. And it's an image of a girl. So it almost looks like they're sitting together, like the ghost of her is sitting there and he's sitting against the wall and the words are popping up on the screen. It's the lyrics to Sleep Well. It's very creative, very symbolic, but a lot of people are saying the girl looks like Celeste. And it's just, I'm here for you still, even if you don't think I'm near. I'll still be right next to you, my dear. And then at the very end, the projection image of the girl disappears and fades away. The next month, he promotes the song Backstreet Girl, where he posts on TikTok and the caption is, y'all are not hearing me. And it's about, well, the lyrics playing are, loving her way too soon. Again, people have a field day with that one. But I don't want to wait too long for someone to love you before I do. So people are saying it's almost like he's competing with the underage boys who are trying to get in a relationship with an underage girl and he loves her way too soon. That's like a whole crazy conversation that is an assumption. Everyone's just making assumptions. I'm just saying all of this is alleged. We don't know anything for a fact yet. But people are really saying this is kind of a crazy one. But David says, no, it's not. David does in a previous interview. I remember I was on Discord about this song. It's this unreleased song. It's called Backstreet Girl. It might be on the project. It might not be. I don't know. So this is before it's released. But this guy was like, yo, can you write a song for my girlfriend? Her name's Allie. She's from the Backstreet, like Allie in the Backstreet. And I was like, say less. The next day I showed him the song. He was like crying on the mic. I'm like, yo, chill. David states though that the only information that he got from the Discord guy is that his girlfriend's name is Allie and she is from the Backstreet. And then in another interview, he says that the guy is trying to date someone named Allie. So we don't know. But he later says that the guy from Discord DM'd him saying, yo, forget the song. She doesn't even deserve it. So yeah, I don't know. We don't know what's true or what's not true. We don't even know if we can believe David's interviews, what he says, obviously. The rest of the year 2023, David says that he's never been in love and wrote all of these love songs. But he also posts on September 7th on Celeste's 13th birthday. POV, you guys, when you hear the saddest songs I've ever made tonight. So it seems like it's just weird. People are saying, is he trying to talk to her through TikToks? And I think that's been another conversation more so when we go over his TikTok repost. Like when you're 13, people, like when I was 13, you're like trying to get the person you like to see stuff online. So people are saying the way he's acting on TikTok is more so trying to get the attention of a young girl. When you're like 19, 20, you're not really doing that, especially if you're getting attention. If you have lots of followers, you're not really subtweeting that much. But he's constantly, it's not even just during a breakup, it's like nonstop. Then another one that year with the caption, it's always the people you want to make the most proud that end up disappointing you. Then one TikTok of him is just in a hotel room sitting on the edge of the bed and the words are, does anyone know any tips on how to not be the literal worst person in the world? Smiley face. Now remember the picture where the girl is covering her face with a blanket? That's around this time. So there are speculations that by this point in 2023, they're back together is the speculation. Then in January 2024, he starts posting teasers of his new song that he's going to drop called Leave Her. And it's like him singing, I Can't Stop Falling for Her. And it's like a TikTok hill film of him fainting on the ground. And it's saying, I can't stop falling for her. And then another one, he says, yes, I'll swallow an AirTag so you know my every move. I can't stop falling for her. Meaning when a girl tells him, yes, David, I will swallow an AirTag so you know my every move, he can't stop falling for her.
Okay.
Or another one that reads, when she does the bare minimum and it's the most romantic thing I've ever experienced, I can't stop falling for her. Another one that reads, when she sends you a paragraph of how much she loves you while you're sad at work, I can't stop falling for her. When TikTok removes all my music, but at least I have a Valentine's this year, I can't stop falling for her. And then another one, he's doing a backflip. And the words are, quote, babe, don't flip out, but this guy asked if, AKA he's doing a backflip. Don't flip out. So he's saying like a minute the girl says, babe, don't flip out. But this guy asked, he's already flipping out.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is around the time that Celeste is going missing.
So this is kind of people think he's posting this because he's in a relationship.
Yeah. And
these are the type of thing that you post when you're in a relationship.
Yeah. And people, there is argument of like, well, he's writing love songs, so technically he could just be promoting his song.
Right.
But then others are saying these are like oddly specific things. Just because you're writing a love song, you don't want people to swallow air tags. That's actually not PR advice to give as a celebrity.
I see.
But then people are saying he's like an edgelord. He's trying to be edgy and fun.
Got it.
It's weird. Now, not nearly as relevant to anything, but this is actually the song that David was performing when he failed his backflip and fell on his head at Coachella. Yeah. But he's also posting a lot of videos on TikTok around this time, just repping Hello Kitty as if he's trying to get a brand deal. It's also around the time that he posts card declines at therapy, but they bring in the Hello Kitty girl from 2021.
So this is the heavy Hello Kitty.
Heavy Hello Kitty phase.
And you said this is the time when Celeste
goes missing. Early 2024.
Huh.
So people are saying they probably met in 2021. 2022, it seems like they didn't have a lot of interactions from the crazy connections that were forming together on the internet. 2023, people think this is the era where Celeste comes back. He posted that season 2 comes back in season 5. Sleep well seems like someone's coming back into his life. There are all these little hints people are forming. And then it seems like early 2024, they're like heavy in some sort of relationship is what people believe.
Okay.
Because all the Hello Kitty, all the references to dating, people think that's what's going on. Now, before Celeste is officially reported missing with the missing child's poster, she was actually missing before that too. So she's run away multiple times. Sometimes she is reported, the police will bring her back. I don't know if she's reported every single time. I'm sure the police are also looking into that. But February 14th, it has been reported by those who know Celeste that she ran away on Valentine's Day. This is before her original running away. So like she came back after this. So she runs away and she is gone for about a month before she comes back. And if that's the case, that means she probably went home around mid-March. Well, the end of March, David posts a live performance of his song, My House Is Not a Home. And the caption reads, imagine leaving everything behind for someone that don't even want you. So some people are saying, is he referencing Celeste's parents? Like her family? Like imagine leaving everything behind when your family doesn't even want you? Or is he saying, that's what I did. I left everything behind and you still left me.
Say that one more time. Imagine leave everything behind for someone who don't even want you.
Yes. So is it, look at what you did, that's so dumb, or is it, woe is me, I'm so dumb? Either way, people think it might have to do with Celeste. But by April, he posts an animated picture of a girl sitting next to the guy, and this looks like Celeste. So it looks like the Here With Me music video that also looks like Celeste. He uses that graphic a lot. And it says, he captions it with his own lyrics, I don't care how long it takes as long as I'm with you. I've got a smile on my face. A few days later, Celeste runs away again. And this is when she's reported missing. And 2 weeks after that, David announces on TikTok that he's finally going to write happy songs again because his depression has been cured.
2 weeks after that?
Yes.
Whoa.
But that same month, a lot is happening. So David is saying his depression is cured. But a few weeks later, there are alleged text messages between Celeste and her friend. Her friend allegedly released these. Again, these are completely unconfirmed. But a friend is asking her if she's okay, just making sure she's alive. Celeste allegedly responds, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm safe. Her friend asks her, are you still going to talk to David or go back with him? Because I don't want you to get into any more trouble with him. No, I'm not. Okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Love you too. I won't. The two girls have a conversation about whether or not they bled the first time of intimate relations. Allegedly, Celeste writes about how she did not have her first intimate relation with David, but a guy named Gus. Gus is important later. But she says she did not bleed because Gus, it sounded like Gus R-worded her. But I don't think she understood it was R-word because she was saying like he was getting mad. And so I wasn't into it. But that's, if this is true, that seems to be the feeling that people are getting. But she's saying that she only bled with David. So I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know if this is real. She quickly texts her friend though, do not text back. He came back. He's crying. Do not text me. So that made a lot of netizens feel that David saw her phone and maybe saw what happened and realized that she likely, maybe potentially, if this is even real, had intimate relations with somebody else. And maybe to her it didn't count because honestly, the text message that she allegedly sent was, quote, "With Gus, I was just drunk and I did it because he got mad at me the first time for not having relations with him." I mean, that sounds like our word. Because he's getting mad and she's drunk, and I don't know how old Gus is. She's clearly not of age. And we don't even know if this is real, but like it would make sense that maybe she doesn't bring it up because it's such a traumatic experience that she hasn't even internalized fully and she doesn't even know what it means. I don't know, but the fact that she's saying he came back, he's crying, do not text me. People are saying it seems like David saw those text messages, saw the text message about Gus. Later she responds, "I fixed, I'm staying, don't text, I fixed him, I don't know how." And then her friend is like, "What do you mean? What happened?" This is days later. And she's like, "We both cried together and he changed his mind. I'm happy he did though." And this is around the time that afterwards, David starts posting some crazy about girls.
2024, after this. Okay.
So netizens think that at this point, David, quote, forgives her, which is an insane thing if it's true, considering she's a child, she's a victim, and like, what does she need forgiveness for? If anything, if all speculations are correct, she is a victim of at least 2 different people. But a few weeks later, David is reposting TikToks, and it's a girl filming herself with a song playing. That's not even David's song, so it's not even him reposting it as promotion. But the words read, "Every guy's personal hell is watching his girlfriend defend another man to him."
Whoa, that is very specific.
Yeah. Then in June of 2024, Celeste is seen in that video that is posted of her going to see her family.
And this is after the missing post.
Yeah.
There's a video allegedly from a family member that Celeste going back into a family gathering.
Yeah. I mean, people are reading heavily into it. We'll go into it deeper in a second, but it's a lot. Now, Celeste's family has been just dragged. Well, I guess I can go into it now. They've just been dragged because of this. Whether it's warranted or not is subjective, but they're just saying that they knew that she's traveling around. They knew that she's getting by without coming home. It's definitely not from a 15-year-old boy. Like, you have to be dating an adult. Like, you cannot really survive out there like that unless you're dating an adult. So people are very upset about that. Some people are saying that her parents were probably getting paid. Like, if they were late on their rent, maybe David would pay it, or maybe David was paying them off, and so they didn't care. Some people, one comment read, this is actually crazy. Celeste's death should be blamed on her parents just as much as David. They did not protect her at all, and they are the main reason that she died. Her parents pissed me off the absolute most. Everyone should be ripping in on her parents just as much as David, or even harder. No real parents would ever just let their children do whatever they want and end up dead like Celeste. The parents should be in prison for life for neglecting her, and David deserves prison plus the death penalty. To which someone comments back, calling the parents the main reason when somebody literally killed her is such a crazy take. It is not equal no matter how hard you try to play it that way. So people, I would say the general population, they're upset with the family, but nowhere near as upset with the family as whoever did this to Celeste. Meanwhile, 2 weeks later, he posted TikTok, June of 2024. What do you mean you can't stalk her Twitter likes no more? This is an update on X that was made around that time where you cannot stalk someone's Twitter likes. And so he's getting upset about it. It's just coming off very jealous, very possessive. And the next month, he starts teasing his song, There Goes My Baby. And he posts that he's in Dublin, he's bored, he misses his girlfriend. So there's lots of references to a girlfriend around 2024. Valentine's Day, I have my first Valentine's Day date, I miss my girlfriend. And then another TikTok photo with the caption, the softest soft launch of all time. And it's him in the car, someone's hand is reaching out, cupping his chin, but you really only see her hand. Some people say you can see a little bit of red hair on the side, which Celeste would have had that red curly hair at that time.
Do you see the red hair?
A little bit. But then some people are saying her skin looks really pale. But I will say the inside of the elbow, like this arm is usually a little bit different from
the lighting is always
exactly.
tricky.
And it's a very bright car. I think it's a Tesla, and it's very bright that day. It looks, so people are like, no, even with the red hair, her skin tone is different. So there's lots of debates.
Color is very hard to tell color.
It's very difficult. And then he has a Hello Kitty phone case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From what I could tell, it does not appear that the older Celeste has as strong of a connection with Hello Kitty. Celeste went missing in Hello Kitty Crocs. It seems like she does have a strong liking for Hello Kitty.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But this is the There Goes My Baby phase. And the cover art looks, according to the internet, exactly like Celeste. I'm actually going to show you the cover art because I think you would.
Okay, so people are saying that looks like her.
Okay, another thing is like people are saying the older Celeste, we don't know if her natural hair is curly, but a lot of the times I actually see her with like slick, straight hair. That seems to be her preferred hairstyle. Whereas the Celeste, her very natural, very wavy hair is in almost every single photo, unless she's like wearing a wig and it's always like a bright blue wig, which we'll get into that too. There's a picture of her wearing a bright blue wig with bangs. And then David is seen wearing that same wig at an event. I mean, netizens have gotten really crazy. Some people are saying that there's no way that that's the same wig because David has a really large forehead. So like the way that it's landing on his forehead, the way that it lands on her forehead doesn't make sense. So there's been lots of debates, but it's just so many coincidences. It looks like the same blue wig.
And then wig, like where it lands, also based on how you adjust it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like you pull it down, you pull it up.
Okay.
But there is this There Goes My Baby. The cover art looks, according to the internet, exactly like Celeste. It's just, you see the back of a girl with very curly hair sitting down on a really, really long, tall swing. Like the ones that hang over mountains for those like Instagram pictures. But it's very cinematic. She's swinging and you just see the back of her. She's wearing a dress and the mountains below her, potentially the Hollywood Hills. It just looks reminiscent of that, and it looks like fires are breaking out, and the sky is orangish red. On Instagram, David writes, "There Goes My Baby, out July 12th. This is a song I wrote about letting go of someone you love and letting them become their own person, watching them become that person and realizing that you may have been the problem, but also being happy for the person they've become. I'm so excited for you to hear it." And in one of the videos, a TikToker goes up to an artist and is like, "Hey, what are you listening to right now?" You know, that's like that trend. And the artist will promote their new song, that style of video. David is doing that for There Goes My Baby. And as he's walking off, you see him holding a Hello Kitty phone case. Relevant lyrics to the song read, "There goes my baby, out of my reach. Why won't you take me? It's so hard to breathe. Why did you leave? There goes my baby, finally free. Why did you waste all my time? You were bored and I was alone. Feels like somebody's taking my life. There goes my baby, out of my reach." The song ends with the lyrics, "Real, is your love real? Darling, I've lost my mind." Around that time, There Goes My Baby comes out. He reposts a TikTok that reads, "Me explaining that according to psychology, when someone knows they treated you wrong, they avoid you. It's called a guilty conscience. They lack the maturity to apologize for their disrespectful actions, and because they lack accountability, they simply remove themselves from your life." People think this is in reference to Gus. Then from August to November, David is very busy. He's just traveling everywhere, mainly in Asia, Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong, Japan. And by December 2024, he releases Where Did It Go Wrong? Notable lyrics include, "Where did it go wrong with you? I don't belong with you. It's a tragedy. I really thought you were meant for me. How could you lie to me? Every kiss put a cavity between my lips. I don't really want your love no more. I swear, 'cause I don't need it. And I don't mean to be conceited, but I'm the reason you're still breathing. Is it love or lust? I can tell you're fiending. You told me I was special, girl, but that does not mean anything to me." And near the end of the song, you hear a girl's voice. Like, you know how Drake used to do that thing where he like inserts voicemails? I don't know if he was the one that did it. I don't know. I just remember there's lots of songs where it's like voicemails of like, "I miss you. Where are you?" Well, near the end, you just hear a girl's voice saying, "You're special, David." And he writes, "Making a song for Arcane," which was a previous collaboration he did, "inspired me to make my most heartbreaking song yet." David says about the music video, quote, "I get the shot at the end and I'm like, you know, I die. And then this trailer comes out and then you see the bullet hole in my chest and I get carried away by cult members. And like, you know, it's just like a thing."
What?
So he's just saying like this is the darkest song and that it's, you know, it still connects to how everyone is connected by the invisible string theory. He says, "I love that theory, that everybody's connected." And so it even traces back into all the music videos. Now, by the end of the year, he's building Hello Kitty skateboards. He's singing to his Hello Kitty plushies. So he's like, "Oh, singing to my Hello Kitty plushies because they're the only ones that don't pressure me to release new music." But then February of this year, he complains on TikTok about how he doesn't have a Valentine. So this is 2025. And then he drops the song One More Dance. This is the one where he's like put into the back of the car. You know, Itami, his alter ego, it pits David back into the trunk of the car and they're going to bury him. And he's talking about that video. And then after that, in March, he drops What Are You Waiting For, which is like his summer song release. Notable lyrics read, what are you waiting for? Cause I've been standing here. It's never been so clear. I think I've fallen in love, but that's not enough. I don't ever want to mess it up. We're running out of luck. Tell me to stay. You're wasting my time. Every day I'm waiting in line, standing in place, cause baby, that's all I know. Why do you wait? Just tell me. But people think maybe the song is a reflection of his personal life. Like, what are you waiting for? He's basically saying like, why do you keep leaving? Some people think it's like around this time, maybe Celeste left again. And then he's like, I'm just waiting for you, but you're not doing that for me, which again is like a crazy way to look at the situation if the situation is what we think it is. Netizens also spot a black Louis Vuitton bag on his couch around that time when he is filming a TikTok. That is the same purse that was covering allegedly Celeste's face in a selfie that they took together, remember? So maybe people are saying this points to he was back with Celeste. Celeste is still alive. We don't know. Then David goes to Coachella, falls on his head, and then he releases his Withered album and does a bunch of press for it. Pretty quickly, Withered is number 13 on the Billboard 200 album charts, already has 500 million streams on Spotify. And side note, he does mention that you need to listen to his music in order on the album because it shares his entire story. So that's exactly what we're going to do because people think Withered has everything to do with Celeste. His other songs, people are saying, well, that was in 2022, that was in 2023, we don't know. People think Withered is about Celeste. So he says he tries to write the album in the United States, but he can't do it. So then he goes to London because he loves the gloominess. He and his 3 friends made a song a day for 2 weeks. He says, I documented the whole process on camera just to see my creative process and, you know, without people around me and then with people around me. And that's another thing. A lot of netizens think that's why the police are taking so long because he's documenting so much stuff. Maybe the police are also combing through things like that. He says, this is my first album. It's all me. Because previously it was EPs. So this is like his first, I guess, fully fledged album. I'm not sure how it works, but he's saying, this is my very first album. It's me. All these experiences, it's all about love, bro. Yeah, like the past 2 years, my own relationships, my own hardships, everything is super authentic and super raw and super me this time.
So this is the first time he came out and say, these songs are my story from my experiences. It's raw. Everything is from my past 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, could that be marketing? I don't know.
Right. But even before, he said it wasn't, sometimes he said, it's not my story.
I've never been in love. I've never experienced heartbreak. I would go on Discord. I'd chat with people on Fortnite.
Yeah.
I have been itching to announce a very special project with Shopify. And if you're already an avid listener, you may already know that we've been dropping a lot of hints. I know it's so annoying. I can't tell you guys yet. You'll just have to see what's in store for you guys. And in the meantime, I know many of you guys have started your own businesses. I get tagged in so many businesses where you guys are crafting some of the most insane pieces for sale. I know that a lot of you guys are also business owners, or maybe you're just a student studying commerce or business in school. If you are waiting for a sign to jump into owning your own small business, or you're looking for ways to grow your existing business, Shopify is the place to go. I've seen you guys create some of the most beautiful handcrafted jewelry, hand-painted fans, and I would just love to be able to support and even share your small businesses properly. Shopify is the way. It's the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow a business. Their sites are optimized for discoverability, meaning that you can easily connect your product catalog to the top online marketplaces. Plus, their customizable templates allow you to choose from hundreds of feature-packed themes used by millions of existing businesses. And you can just focus on turning those what ifs into why nots and keep giving those dreams the best shot with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/rotten. Go to shopify.com/rotten. Shopify.com/rotten. He said, you know, the kind of core visual identity for this project is roses. And this string, the red string. As I said before, I view myself as this rose. Very beautiful, but can stab you, can hurt you with the thorns. And with the withering process, withered, it's kind of like the decay and the withering away and the ending of the life cycle of this rose, kind of signifying the end of an era. Not a debut introduction to David. It's a continuation and almost a goodbye to David in a way. There's going to be a lot of insight and a lot of explanation and context to these songs that I'm going to drop in the album that, you know, it's going to contextualize analyze the entire project and give you insight to my brain and what I was thinking when I was writing these songs and things like that. So it's going to be exciting. Songs include Atomic Land. Debated lyrics include, there's something about you that I don't understand. If my arms were around you, would you love me again? Love was never this dangerous. This is Atomic Land. But also the lines, oh, we could be imaginary, but you're real to me. People suspect this is about the allegation that he hid Celeste. So it's almost like their relationship is imaginary, but he's like, no, but you're real to me, is what netizens have taken it as. He continues, you're my guardian angel, but you act like a demon. You don't believe in the afterlife, but babe, just know I've seen it. Then Sky, a song he says he wrote because he was inspired by Chicken Little.
What?
Which there's not really, it's just talking about the sky is falling down, which is very Chicken Little coded. So there's not really too many notable lyrics from that one. And then the song, You Left Me First. Notable lyrics include, you left me at my best. I loved you at your worst. How ironic is that when you left me first? It never makes sense to me, falling deeper into jealousy, cause I can't help the thought of you with someone else. I know the truth. So people think this is about Gus. And there's a girl's voice at the end, like a voicemail that says,
I sound so stupid right now. I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really am sorry.
People are saying, okay, we don't know what Celeste sounds like. We don't know.
But the family does, right?
Yes, the family does. But remember that clip of her in the live stream, allegedly her in the live stream, where she says, is it controversial of you R-wording kids, right?
Mm-hmm. I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Delete everything. Everything goes.
That people have taken that and they say, if this is Celeste, let's reference the voice in his songs. And all they do is pitch it up a little. Because the voice in the song sounds very deep.
I sound so stupid right now. I've been so selfish and I sound so stupid right now. I've been so selfish.
It's controversial of kids.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Now, there have been more debates about it because some people are saying, actually, the voice in the music videos and even the girl in the live stream almost have like a New York accent. And he's originally from New York. He moved to Houston when he was 13. He did say in an interview that his very first girlfriend was from New York. So is this a New Yorker that he was dating and not Celeste? Is this somebody else? But then other people are saying, well, actually, a lot of people in like the Latino community, they have accents that don't sound like LA. I think people were expecting like an LA Valley girl accent because she's from around Los Angeles.
Okay.
And like, who's to say? Because, LA is not Valley girl. That's not even who came to LA. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That might not even be the native accent of Los Angeles. It's just become the popularized one is the Valley girl accent. So that's been a whole debate. But then there's the song, Say It Back. I can't let you go because I love you like I'm supposed to, but you don't say it back. You never say it back. So now I hate you and I hope it breaks you. I won't take it back. People think he's obsessed, but David claims on the Zach Sang show, it's like me talking to myself and I'm not reciprocating and how I feel about my own feelings and understanding myself. So basically, I'm not reciprocating self-love to myself. Then he has Friend again. Alarming lyrics include, I want to settle down when I get older. I'm looking over shoulders. People are saying, is this about the paranoia of dating a minor, allegedly? I want to fall in love. I used to be her everything, and now she doesn't answer me. I didn't ask for anything. I only want her next to me. Love me, hate me, whatever your feelings, nothing changes. I don't want to be your friend again. Good thing we're older now, but I still want her. She's got someone better, and I've got jealousy. Top comments read, oh my God, she probably said she wanted to be friends and then he killed her. Then there's the song Somewhere in the Middle. Lyrics include, it's you doing things you're not supposed to do. You don't think that I would know the truth, but every day I see the way you move and it's not like you. I want to think you love me, but you never say the word. I gave you what you wanted and I got nothing in return. I don't love you. I don't hate you. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm losing it a little, somewhere in the middle. I just bought a hammer. I'm trying to fix you, but where are my manners? I might have a screw loose. Everything you say to me somehow turns me off. You told me it's okay to feel happy when you're gone. Getting over you is such an obstacle. Again, more speculation. One netizen comment reads, "It's sad to think he felt this way, not only about her, but like a child, a young girl trying to escape his madness. He wanted to manipulate her and make her believe that no matter what, they were meant to be. I feel so bad for her, and I can't even begin to imagine what went through everything up until her tragic death." Then there's Crashing with Kali Uchis, which has now been taken down on YouTube. Notable lyrics include, "I know you've been going through it, but baby, I've been going through it all alone. It all comes crashing down. I'll be holding on to you." David says even though it's a collaboration song, he wrote most of his lyrics. So he wrote all of his lyrics, and then Kali Uchis actually just sent her a verse. He was like, "Hey, do you like this song? You want to hop on a verse?" And then she sent it back. And he uploaded the process of making the song in a closet all onto YouTube. And he said that he was trying to tap into the state when he was making Romantic Homicide. He says, so with this song, I'm writing about falling in a relationship that's crashing and everything feels like it's crumbling down on you. And in the first verse, "Baby, baby, I've been asleep for way too long," he says it's, again, basically like a lullaby.
I love the feeling of like songs that sound like nursery rhymes because it's like the itsy bitsy spider, na-na-na-na-na. It feels nostalgic in a way. So that first verse was perfect fit for me.
David says the music video for Crashing, where they're just covered with red strings, is supposed to be like limbo. Everyone's in purgatory, afterlife kind of thing. He said that's why there's so many red strings. Kali Uchis has put out a statement, "Not my friend. I did a song with him, which is currently in the process of being taken down given today's disturbing news." I will say, I think that people have been a little bit better, because a lot of celebrities have collaborated with David. And usually, it's weird. Some celebrities are getting better treatment of like, I feel so bad for them. This must be traumatizing news. And then some people are going on, for example, Kali Uchis' Instagram being like, talk about your friend David. She had to literally be like, not my friend. And like, this is Hollywood. They're not all best friends just because they put out a song together. So it's been weird. It's been very strange. A lot of live streamers have been under fire because, again, David was technically a live streamer, which, side note, lots of stuff happening in the live stream world. Apparently, one of the live streamers, I don't know any of them in like the FaZe Clan group. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. But one of them is like live streaming and he's talking about the David situation. And David was allegedly pretty frequently hanging out with the FaZe group. Jason DeWeen is signed by FaZe. I don't know how it works, but they're all like, they live in the same house. He's live streaming and he sees David hopped on his live.
David was in the viewer list on my stream and he just unfollowed me on Twitch.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't know these people because they're like small people. They're massive streamers. I'm just not, I'm not their target demographic, I guess, right? I'm not familiar. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So
he is out right now. He is most likely on the internet, right? He wouldn't be like all these times. He wouldn't just be off internet and not talking to anyone.
Especially someone who seems like he's chronically online.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not online.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But the most contentious drop in the album now is the Invisible String Theory interlude, where you hear a conversation. It's not a song, it's an interlude, so it's just a conversation with a bunch of echo added into it, so it sounds like very artistic. Some people think that it's Celeste, and they believe that it's pitched down to make her sound older, but it's got that very edgy conversation between two people vibe, and the conversation goes with the girl saying, "So I got a question." And David says, "What's the question?" "Why don't you hold my hand anymore?" Oh, here we go again, bro. No, I'm so serious, bro. I'm so serious. Like, all right, continue. I haven't held your hand in like, and David starts giggling. Dude, shut up. Sorry. Like, you're not funny. I swear you're not funny. My fault. I'm done. All right, let me think. Bro, I'm about to set a timer. So it's like a quick conversation. The girl is like, "Stop laughing. I'm so serious. Like, you haven't held my hand in forever." And then he's like, "Okay, you're right. I'm done. Like, let me," and then she's like, "Okay, let me think when the last time you hold my hand was," basically. And he's like, "Bro, let me set a timer." And she says, "Oh, it could have been yesterday. It could have been yesterday." Wow. Yeah. I'm glad that you remember that. Glad that, so he's saying like, okay, so it was yesterday. And she said, "Period. Thank you." Ew. I hate when you say period, bruh. So he's saying to the girl, "I hate when you say period, bruh." And then he says, "I got a question for you now." The girl responds, "Okay. Why do you think we met?"
Do you think this conversation is rehearsed, or is it like an actual clip of their conversation, you think?
It sounds like a real clip.
Okay.
Or it could be a recreated clip. Or I think sometimes maybe they cut out like the pauses because it's very whippy. It's very fast.
Okay.
Why do you think you left?
Well, I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible string theory?
It's controversial of raping kids.
Oh yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
We need to delete this.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that, I loved you before I existed and I love you even when I die.
Oh, look at answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer that.
Netizens believe that this is Celeste with her voice pitched down, and some people even say when you listen to the conversation, it definitely sounds like a younger girl. Not the voice, just the way that, you know, they're talking about the invisible string theory. It's like, you know, when you're young and you fall in love and you have this very romanticized version of it. Not that I don't believe in the invisible string theory, but I think the way that it's presented, some people are pointing out, it just sounds like a much younger person. Just the choice of words, the way that it's put together. Zach Sang asks David about it, not because he thinks it's Celeste, this is way before, but during an interview, he says, you know, at the end of the interlude, correct me if I'm wrong, but she says, I love you. You don't respond. She says, I love you again, or repeats herself and you don't respond. Like, was that done on purpose? Absolutely, because the next song after that is this really love? But David says,
because that's a real conversation that happened. And the irony of it was that person that was saying, I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like, people say that the string can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, you know, Afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of solidify that message of this is the end of something, not the beginning.
In a separate interview, he says, oh yeah, so there's an extra layer that I added throughout the album where you hear little voice bits and things like that.
Like little voice bites and things like that. Cannot disclose who the voice is because of copyright.
But just sound bites and things to add an extra layer of authenticity and storytelling to the project. And there's an interlude as well.
So he's saying these are not like voice actor.
Yeah. But like, I don't know why he can't disclose because of copyright, because if it's because of copyright, if that's your voice and you hear it on a commercial song, you'd be like, hey, give me my money, right? So then the person that would get you for copyright could still hear it.
Yeah.
And then also, just because a voice is on your song, I don't think anyone else is going to go to that person and say, I want you on my song.
Yeah, copyright is a weird thing to say.
Yeah, that was a weird, I was like, what is copyright? And I was very confused by that.
Yeah, copyright, you can still say that is my voice.
Yeah.
Just because you don't disclose who is the person, they can still say that's my voice. So copyright, that's my voice.
Yeah.
So the copyright, you're right.
It's weird.
Yeah, that is a weird excuse.
It's so weird. And he could have just said, even if he had paid the copyright, if he just said like, it's an ex of mine or a fling of mine or this relationship I had that was rough.
Yeah.
But like, I can't disclose who because of the copyright. I thought that was weird. David tells Zach saying, but once the fans hear the interlude and you hear the project, it all kind of connects and it's going to kind of click to everyone at the same time. And I'm just so excited to see what that kind of looks like in real time. Well, it's clicking, and I don't think this is what he was excited for, because it's clicking. He also, in an interview that he's doing in New York City, David says, my first girlfriend I actually met in New York, which is actually crazy that we're here.
But is Celeste from New York?
No. So that's why people are like, wait, is the girl that's in the music video, is she a New Yorker? So I don't know. I can't tell. There's so many debates. The next track is It Really Love? The lyrics are, is this really love if you don't say the word anymore? I know it was fake to you, but it was real to me. Tried to stay the same for you, but you changed on me. Hating you ain't enough. I just want my love. I want to get back my love. You got somebody else to take my place and did it wrong way after all I did for you. Side note, the music videos of David laying on his bed, singing, and on a small TV, you have previous music videos that are playing. There's one predominantly displayed here with me, with the person that looks like Celeste. Then you have the last two songs on the album, Ghost and Afterlife. Ghost notable lyrics read, why don't you love me? Oh, heaven or hell, we will meet. Lucky me, just to have met. Torture me, torture me, torture me. I can't forget. He might have you, but I've got your ghost. And we both know that's the real you. And God knows it's true. I love you the most, but we both know what I have to do. Eyes looking right through me. Why? Why can't I hear your heartbeat? Just a dream, just a dream, just a dream. Don't wake me up, make-believe fantasy. Dance with me under the moon above. She's so happy when she's with me. Leave me in this dream. Don't be nasty. Let us keep this perfect memory. Netizens are saying this whole song sounds like him allegedly killing her. Eyes looking right through me. Why can't I hear your heartbeat? I've got your ghost. We both know that's the real you. Side note, I did leave out a few songs because it's in the previous episode, so just go watch that. But the last song is Afterlife. Notable lyrics read, something's missing from inside of me. Someone stole what wasn't mine. The devil told me you were good for me. My mother told me he would lie. What doesn't kill you waits for later. What tries to keep you alive fails. I thought a girl would make me happy. Real love is not for sale. And when I die, I'll love you from the afterlife. He says the last song on the project, Afterlife, quote, it's kind of that big moment of the carrying of the casket kind of thing. Zach Sang is asking him, so at what stage of Withered is dying? So you're going into dust, but you're coming back again. Is that what I'm getting through these 14 records? It's definitely a resurrection type of thing, but by the end of the project, it's done. So that's why the last track is called Afterlife. That's the final blow. It's a whole different layer of depth of an album. I feel like, especially for me, when I'm having dialogue now and things that add to the story, I'm talking about the invisible string theory. I really want the listeners to feel like they're reading a book almost. And they get into a different chapter with every song. But there's also kind of this pause where they can take every song in and by itself and then have this kind of visual landscape and this interlude to kind of be in my head, in my mindset, and why I wrote this project like this and how everything just went to keep them even more interested and connected throughout the project. Which I will say, listeners are more interested and more connected than any project I've ever seen. In one of those, like, hey, what do you do for a living? He talks about his Withered album and he says,
my first project, my first fully fleshed out project, it kind of encapsulates my whole life. I'm just excited to see what my fans think about it and how they relate to it on a personal level.
Which, by the way, Afterlife, people have been, okay, there is this performance, his live performance in Houston where he sings Afterlife. He's breaking down sobbing on stage.
When was this Houston performance?
Like a few months ago.
Huh.
It was recent, and he's breaking down. And people thought initially it's because it's in Houston. That's, his hometown where his music career started. Well, his hometown is New York, Queens, but he moved to Houston. That's where his music career started. So people are like, whoa, is this his I made it moment? Because people love when musicians look out on stage or they start sobbing on stage, like, I made it. I finally made it, right? But people are saying now it's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. And maybe it's not just being in Houston. Maybe Houston, there's so many emotional ties. And then this song. And then I don't know. People are saying it could be a mixture of everything. It could just be Houston. It could be just the song. It could be a mixture of everything. Who's to say? He also says this album is like the closing of a chapter, especially for my main fans, which adds to everyone's theory of he planned it. He knew that he was going to get caught. Or maybe he didn't plan that he was going to get caught, but he knew he was going to get caught because you don't really just get away with something. That's what some people are theorizing. But also, I don't know, because he's also telling Zach Sang that there's more. There's going to be an extension of Withered. There's a deluxe Withered, and he's writing more messages, and there's just so much that he's excited about. But he does say Withered is a send-off. I view myself as this rose, as very beautiful, and has these thorns that can stab you, and my music can stab you, and then, it dies and turns to dust. In his promotion for Withered, this picture goes viral. It's an Instagram picture of David taking a selfie with a bunch of white shirts covered in blood and red paint and on top of black tarp. And the caption is, limited edition Itami, Withered cover vinyl out now, plus custom bloody shirts made by me, tongue out emoji, rose petal falling emoji. The bloody shirt merch has since been pulled from his website, which makes sense. It was selling for $35 if you're curious. And additionally, there have been lots of stories coming out of former fans who are now traumatized because one guy was like, I literally showed up to his concert in my own red paint shirt. Meanwhile, he had someone dead in his trunk and he just feels a guilty conscience about it now. And everything about it just feels really ick. And I'm not saying that they have no right to be traumatized. I'm not saying that they are so traumatized, right? But it's definitely, it's definitely like a ripple effect. I don't want to compare his trauma to like what the victim's family would be going through, but it's weird. It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
So he's just saying it's not a great feeling. Then July 9th, 2025, David collaborates with Jason Deween for Summer Uptown. And in this music video, people have been saying there's a girl that looks like the young Celeste in the background, like an extra. But interestingly enough, so this video was posted by Jason Deween. He did take it down. And so it does seem like if a lot of artists have control over their content, they're trying to get it taken down. Like Kali Uchis was in the process of taking the music video down. But a lot of David's music videos are still up because it's just on his channel. So I don't think he cares if anyone else wants it taken down, even if they're in it, right? I don't think at this point he cares. So Jason Deween, I'm sure out of respect for everything, has taken down the music video. I do want to give him like a quick little, so I know that with Jason Deween, there was a clip that was going viral of him defending David and saying that David didn't do it. And that I will say a lot of people were bringing up, that was before they identified who was in the car.
He didn't kill anybody, bro. He didn't kill anybody. There's no way. There's no way he's been on tour.
So this is after the body was found. And I think maybe he felt very passionate to defend someone that he's known for a little bit of time. Not friendly. It seems like every part of their interactions has been work related. It's been live streamed. It's been collaborating on music. Even when I watched their 3-hour live stream where they created the song Summer Uptown. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I watched the 3-hour live stream. They didn't particularly strike me as close friends. They strike me as like two streamers connecting or like two people connecting. And Jason Deween clearly wants to get into music. David was a streamer, so it made a good match on paper. So I will say it did not, I think that maybe he spoke too soon and maybe spoke a little too casually. Yeah. But I don't think he meant any ill intentions, but there has just been lots of conversation there. But that video has been taken down. Now, I do want to say there are lots of reposts because people are like doing the reacting to videos. This is before everything that happened. A lot of streamers were like reacting to Jason Deween's song with David. So there is a lot. It's unclear if that's Celeste. And even if that is Celeste, what I'm trying to say is I don't think that Jason Deween would have known because he has also stated outright that the Celeste that he met was the older Celeste. And there is a live stream clip of him shaking someone's hand and she says, "Oh, I'm Celeste." And she looks like the older Celeste. Like her hair is slicked back. It's not like wavy hair. She looks like the other Celeste. So I'm inclined to believe all of that to be true. So just putting that out there, because, yeah. But in the Genius interview between David and Jason Deween, which is still up, David sings, "Never want to lose you. When you come around, all I say is hallelujah. Put you on a pedestal, the highest in the room. I got every eye on you." David explains those lyrics as, it's like when you're in love and on deep level, you kind of start to idolize this person. And it's like my love language, acts of service and words of affirmation. So I like hearing things and being told that I'm doing a good job of what I'm doing. So I like that the person I'm in love with is the only person in the world. There's only 2 of us on the planet Earth. People think that is very alarming because to put a little 13-year-old on a pedestal, if that is who he is talking about, to put anyone on a pedestal can only result in bad things. And then around this time, he starts posting very melodramatic TikToks with words that read, these are reposts. So if you go into his repost, which he has since started deleting apparently, but one of them reads, "I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be around anyone. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be me anymore. Did I really deserve that? I'm not sure who I am anymore. What happened to me? I'm not who I used to be. I can't describe this feeling. Is this even real? Every day I feel less and less like myself." Which could be lyrics to a song, could just be like a lot. Another repost soon reads after that, "Sitting there realizing I'm a really bad person sometimes, even though I genuinely love with all my heart, there's a really bad part of me that ruins everything." And just slideshows of angsty TikTok reposts, rapid fire, okay? These are just, a lot of his reposts are songs that a lot of them aren't even his songs. And then those slideshows and they're just like words on top. The saddest-
When was this all dumped, posted?
Around June of 2025.
Okay, three months ago. Okay.
So there's a lot. There's some from his reposts are a mess. And then also it's hard because I had to go into the comments because the TikTok is posted on a date, but then the day that he reposts them is different. Does that make sense? Because so then you have to look for comments at that time where people say, "Oh my God, David reposted heart emoji." And then I'll try to go off that date. So it's
Yeah, I see.
But rapid fire, they read things like, the saddest part of life is when the person who gave you the best memories becomes a memory. POV, you are reading through old text messages with her. POV, me watching my younger self fall in love with her. He doesn't know she's going to ruin him. POV, me staring at myself in the mirror with the most hatred towards myself. And then another one of someone sad, how I be walking home after another day of faking my entire personality and pretending to be happy. And then also around this time, he posts a lot of, he has a David Prayers TikTok account where he posted a lot of TikToks of just him reading the Bible and verses.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, David did grow up in a super religious household, so it appears that he has been immersed in faith for a long time. But some people say it starts picking up a little bit more around certain times. So I don't know. I don't want to read too much into it, but it could be. It could be. He also has another account with another musician, Bryant Barnes. It's Where the Huz at. Huz as in hose. And it's just like them posting while they're traveling. And it's like meme accounts, like stuff like where my Huz at. And then all the comments are like, the Huz are 13. Is crazy. So that one is, yeah, there's a lot going on everywhere. Now, if you take everything at face value, friends of Celeste have come forward to say that the last time that they heard from her was around July or early August of this year. August 5th of 2025, David's USA leg of the tour begins in California. There's a video circulating, and if you open up the comment section from August 24th, 2025, this video is from August 24th, people are saying that this is Celeste. David is on the stage, and on a balcony overlooking the stage, you see what appears to be maybe David's little brother and a girl with wavy hair wearing a tube top. Now, this is a black tube top. Celeste was found in the car in a tube top. But tube tops are common. I don't know, right? But people are saying that looks like Celeste. August 24th, 2025, at his performance in Maryland. Maryland is also very important. There's conversations about whether this is going to be a state case or a Fed case. I don't think it really matters to most people, but just to give you an idea, some people actually think it's going to take even longer because it might be a Fed case. If this is her, if she traveled to Maryland, it would be a federal case because you're talking trafficking across state lines. She's a minor and now she's dead. Like that would be a Fed case. If it's a state case, which seems like if it's a, I don't want to say regular, but if it is a homicide, most likely it will be a state case. If she was traveling a lot with him, that could be a trafficking case, which would be a federal case. So it's very complicated, which by the way, some people are saying that he's going to be arrested sometime soon. I'm also in LA right now. We're literally in the Hollywood Hills right now for something unrelated, a different case. But if he happens to be arrested, if there happens to be an arraignment, we'll try to be there. But I don't think so because the authorities have even said it might take weeks to months for an arrest to be made.
It's so fascinating for them to say weeks or months. There must be a lot going on.
I have been talking to some members of press and even with the RM team, and we've been discussing it. And it just seems like if it's a state case, there's a lot of information. So either things are not what we think it is, which could be a chance. But if it is what we think it is, perhaps there's other people involved. Perhaps there's other people involved after the fact that knew about a body and they did not say anything. So that could make it trickier, and that's why it might take much longer. And then the police might not want to tip off. They could have easy surveillance on David to make sure he doesn't flee, but they don't want to tip off anyone in his circle to think that they're looking into a bigger situation, or they're monitoring people to see how they're acting right now to see what's going on. It could be that. It could be multiple people involved. It could be even deeper that we're looking at not just homicide charges, murder charges. It could be that the story is something completely from what the internet is saying. It could be any of that. Or it could be that maybe the feds are eventually going to get involved. However, I do think that even if he is arrested, he will be arraigned in state court, and then the feds will probably indict him much later on because they like to take their time a lot. Mm-hmm. But they could be looking at a trafficking case, which even then, they were just saying like, after the heinous mishap of what happened with the Sean Combs trafficking case, it seems like maybe the feds would be hesitant to do another high-profile celebrity trafficking case unless they've got 20 times more evidence. So it really, really, really depends. Yeah. But Maryland would be important. That would be important if she was in Maryland, because that would change a lot of things. This is a video from August 24th, 2025. So people are trying to use this date to narrow down the time of death. However, a lot of sources close to everyone are saying that that's not Celeste in the video. So it seems like it's pretty confirmed that that is not Celeste in the video. Also, with netizens trying to narrow down a firm window of death, there's a poster going around where it shows Itami, David's alter ego, on a printed sheet of paper, and it looks like it's from his concerts. Now, remember how he's doing the whole funerals at his concerts. He's blindfold wearing with a blind shirt, and it says Celebration of Life from the David Universe, February 2023 to August 2025. People have used this as a timeline to their relationships, but I will say we tried to track down the source and we found it originally posted. The earliest it was posted was on a fan account. So it seems like a fan edit. And then when you look at concerts of the funerals where he does have pictures of Itami on there, I don't see any dates. Like, we've been trying to zoom in and try to make it as clear as possible, but we don't see any dates. So I don't know if that date counts, but people have been using it to try and find a timeline for all of this. One Instagram post that netizens do find ironic is from September 5th, 2025, 3 days before her body is found. It's a picture of a cat with its scalp removed, like animated, and a glowing brain with needles being injected into the brain with pills like fluoride, Wi-Fi next to it. And the caption, this is from David. He captions it, "I start media training tomorrow, guys. Wish me luck." Which people just thought it was ironic.
That is crazy. Yeah. 3 days before the body is found.
I would imagine that he would start media training before his tour. Because I'm assuming that's a lot of eyeballs on you being recorded in a concert. Or even before his tour press release schedule.
Yeah.
It's weird. September 8th, the body is found. September 17th, the body is identified to be Celeste Rivas Hernandez. 2 days after that, September 19th, his house is raided. And then September 22nd, 3 days after the raids, it appears that David is online playing Fortnite. People know his Fortnite account, which is a famous account because he's David, and he started off as a Fortnite player. It was active that day. Yeah. And then 3 days later, September 25th, 2025, Celeste's body is returned to her family, and the public still has no answers. Now, her body is returned to her family. That doesn't mean anything. So they might have gotten all of the samples that they need to run tests, and some tests take longer than others, but her body has been returned. There have been questions of if her family is going to do a private autopsy. You know, it's kind of messy. So we're going to go into the theories of what might have happened. Theory 1, I'm just going to start with the Coco Bananas Looney Tunes theory, which is David killed for fame. Celeste was a sacrifice because in Hollywood, you have to take a life and give a life to the devil to get famous. People have even pointed to his eyes, saying that when he first got famous, his eyes looked normal. And now you see more whites under his eyeballs, commonly known as sanpaku eyes. People are going to say it means that you're going to die a tragic death, that you're doomed. And they connect it with people in Hollywood saying that you get those eyes once you sell your soul to the devil. And a lot of people point to Billie Eilish because she has sanpaku eyes. I think it's like, sometimes it literally is just the way your eyes are set in your skull. And I don't think that you can help it. I also do think as you get older, your eyes evolve because, you know, as you get older, your eyelids get heavier, or it's just a change. Because people are saying, well, why didn't they have it when they were younger? Why didn't they have it before they were famous then? People are also naming JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Marilyn Monroe as having sanpaku eyes. People have just run with this theory that they have sold their souls, and here we are. People think that David sold his soul to the devil for fame, and it's clearly working, they say, because within the span of 3 years, less than 3 years, really, he's gone on to work with the Invincibles to create Feel It, a very big song, and then that was March of 2024, so before Celeste goes missing. He says with the lyrics, what do you have in store? To him, it means, what do you have in store? Like, what can you offer me? Like, I'm offering all this for you. What can you offer me? As for the yes line, maybe, like the yes line, he says, I always want to hear yes when I ask a question. I don't want to hear maybes. I don't want to hear no's. So it's kind of like me throwing my arrogance in there. It's speculated that just that one song alone, David could have made close to $1 million. And it's only been streaming for a year. Then November of 2024, he does another collaboration with the animated series Arcane. Huge series. Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, Arcane is bigger than David. And he does the song Remember Me. Notable lyrics include Remember Me, I'm on my own, I'm too far gone, I couldn't see, remember me. I don't want to lie, that's not me. I just want to know more than a memory. When you tell me that you love me, guess it wasn't true, but I hope you remember me. Most people love the song. It's not nearly as successful as Feel It, but the people who love the song love it because of its connection to Arcane. So it's like a song that fits so well with the scene that they're heartbroken over it, they don't even want to listen to the song. Whereas Feel It actually becomes a commercial success outside of The Invincibles. And The Invincibles is nowhere near as big as Arcane. Anyway, he's doing a lot. Then while this is all happening, Celeste is technically missing. One person now comments, I'm going through David's reposts, and it's honestly very upsetting. Celeste goes missing during April of 2024, and there are videos that he's reposting while she's gone, and his songs are blowing up. He's at the height of his career. And then September of 2025, just a few days before her body is found in his trunk, his career comes full circle, and he creates the Fortnite anthem. It's called Locked and Loaded, and the lyrics read, do you get scared or do you feel lost? I smell fear, I've been there before. Goosebumps on your skin, do you feel what I feel? I'm waiting on you to notice that you got what you wanted. We don't got time to cry right now, only time to focus. 2 hits on a wait list. I was armed and dangerous. Take a shot, leave them faceless. You should have noticed I've been focused. You should have known I'm locked and loaded. You better watch your back, cause we aiming at your head. Pull up with the trio and my eyes all red. Which, yes, it's a very violent song, but it's not really something to be analyzed too deeply considering it's for Fortnite. So it does match the assignment. One comment reads, I think the industry made him sacrifice someone and it ended up being her. And that's why he makes these songs and he blames himself. And they made it look like his songs because he was exposing the industry. One netizen comment reads, he sacrificed her and is now channeling all of the emotions to create good music because he has all these like emotions now. One netizen points to a poem that he wrote and posted on Twitter. It's called The Mannequin. He writes, I am a mannequin. I have no heart, no bones, no expression, but I do have eyes. These eyes don't tell the story of a human, but rather tell a human story. The women walk by, they touch my clothes, admire my figure, they take pictures of me, but I'm unable to smile. On the 3rd day of every week, one woman takes me to a dark room and tears me apart. Piece by piece, limb by limb, I see her lips moving but cannot hear her words. Neither can I scream, for my mouth is manufactured shut. I despise this woman, for she knows not the feelings of pain and anguish that she causes me. I wish I could tell this woman who I hate the thoughts on my mind, but I have no mind, for it is not my place to think, rather to stand and simply watch. People think that this is him saying that in the industry you are nothing, you don't get to think. I will say this theory seems the least plausible, but what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm not an insider in Hollywood, but like, it just seems kind of crazy. Then the next theory is that he's innocent. I will say that this and the previous killed for fame theory consist of the smaller portion of netizens online. There are layers to the innocent theory. The first layer being David is innocent. He didn't know he was dating a child because she lied to him about her age. He thought he was dating a university student, just like his friends had said. Again, doesn't seem like the case, but that's my personal opinion. Neighbors report, along with Celeste's former teacher, that she runs away multiple times, and on one occasion, police brought her back from Hollywood. I feel like he would know at that point. Just saying, like that, it seems weird. But in this hypothetical scenario, in this theory, they're saying he didn't know, and then she ends up dead. He has nothing to do with it, and he doesn't know how to say, I didn't know, because nobody would believe him. That would be the mother of all coincidences. Others are saying he never dated her. He was dating the older Celeste. He never dated her, and maybe they just ran in the same circles, or maybe she was dating someone else in his crew, in his group, in his team, and then he was framed. Some people were trying to say it's his brother's girlfriend, and some people are even saying maybe his brother killed her, and he's taking the blame for it, for something his little brother has done. Seems very, I feel like that's only something that happens in movies, but this whole case is bizarre. So I guess we cannot rule anything out, but ultimately this theory hinges on the fact that David is innocent. Some are saying that maybe David found out that she was a minor, and then his team found out, and they're like, okay, we gotta kill her. Like the team did it because their success in their career hinges on the fact that David has to be successful. Categorically speaking, I don't think that to be true at all. I think in Hollywood, you look at people who work with celebrities, they don't give a about the celebrity that they work for typically. Like everyone in Hollywood, the only person that cares about you is you. Like that's usually the saying, right? So I don't think that's the case, but some people are kind of running with it. It also doesn't help that the police have not named him a suspect, that he has not been detained, he has not been arrested. I just don't know. And people are pointing to the fact that they've been quiet because they know they're going to be exonerated. So it's just a lot of work to say stuff when you know once the police exonerate you, that's when all the talking will happen. I don't find that to be as a convincing of a theory. However, I will say I found it odd that he did not even put out a formal statement when her body was found, let alone when her body was identified. So when her body is found, nobody knows who she is. Nobody knows if there's any potential connections to David. If he truly was innocent, when he hears a body is found, he would instantly put out a statement of like, I don't know what's going on.
We're in shock too.
We're also going to work with authorities, but I just hope they can identify who this is and so that they can be laid to rest with their family.
Exactly.
Like it would be a very PR statement written by his agency, written by his team, and it would be put out.
But the reason they wouldn't do that is, let's say he is guilty, then that would be...
People are saying any statement he puts out
will be used against him.
Yeah. And all of it could probably be disproved. How do you say that you're innocent if you have some sort of connection?
Yeah.
So people are saying it's weird, right? I do think it's weird that he did not put out a statement. But another netizen comments, if someone accuses you of a heinous crime, if you are innocent, the very first thing you do is lawyer up and proclaim your innocence.
Yeah.
But someone responds, lawyer up, yes. Public statement? No. But again, I don't think so
if you're innocent, you can make an innocent statement. Yeah.
And even, it's just weird he has not made a statement.
Yeah, 100%.
No one's saying, sit down and give us a TikTok live stream of how you're innocent. People are saying a black screen with words statement. Like, that's what we expect, and we didn't get that, which is weird. Perhaps reasonable explanation, though, is that his dad is an attorney. Yeah. In one interview, David describes his dad as law firm, lawyer, law. He is the law. I don't know. Maybe his dad is being extra cautious and will not let anything, because usually when you have public figures, their attorney and their PR is always at heads. Because the PR is like, we don't care about the law. Like, we just got to make sure people don't hate you. And the lawyer is like, don't say absolutely anything at all, ever. So I don't know. But most netizens think, at the very least, he has a statutory grape charge coming. That's the comment, the R-word charge coming. They even point out that he's passing out Labubus during his world tour, and one comment reads, Hello Kitty and Labubus to attract the young girls, like a man in a white van offering candy. One comment thread reads, I know he's being framed, I just can't prove it. To which another person comments, he was dating a whole minor, and the same minor just so happened to be the same girl who was in the trunk of his vehicle. Such a coincidence, though, right? The parasocial in some of these people is really showing. Another person comments, the internet pissed me off so bad, because what do you mean? What do you mean? You can't believe this. Like, what do you mean? Another person comments, art imitates life. Yes, but I think this dude was framed. No way he's going to sit down for an hour explaining his very introspective art with this level of detail, then go and do what happened. And just the not named a suspect thing, one law enforcement expert was interviewed and he said, yes, he has not been named a suspect, but I can tell you with 1,000% confidence he is suspect number 1. Which makes sense. But there's just, I think, too many things. So, and then there's another thing that people have been pointing out to the people that believe he's innocent. There was this YouTube event where David was singing, and in the back they made this like Pixar animated looking picture of 3 people in love. It's like a Pixar style, and it's David with a girl with very curly hair who looks like Celeste. So it seems like if he had any sort of...
Why is it 3 people?
No, it's like 3 pictures, like a trifold, you know? But then some people are saying they can't just use musical lyrics in a court of evidence. LOL. I really am rooting that he's innocent. So, we'll see. As for the accidental death theory, this is amongst, again, fans that really support David. And I think that maybe there is some parasocial there because he was a very front-facing celebrity. Perhaps he had lots of conversations with his fans, and maybe it's not even just like, I'm going to defend someone I love. It's more so, there's no way, because I feel like I've watched his live streams and I think I have a good judge of character. I think it's more that. Like, I don't think it's appropriate, but I don't think it's, I'm just going to blindly defend a celebrity. I think it's a genuine, like, no, I've watched him live stream. Like, you can't tell me that I can't spot a killer, because then what would I think my brain would explode. It feels kind of like that. It feels very frantic and very tumultuous emotionally. But the theory is that maybe she had overdosed on drugs. She's missing. She's 14. He still is probably dating her, so he would at least be guilty of that. But they're just debating the murder aspects of maybe she OD'd on drugs. He's at the height of his career. She's a missing girl. She's a child. They don't know what to do. He panics and just puts her in the trunk or does something else. And then eventually she ends up in the trunk because he has to go for tour. There's a lyric where it says in one of his songs, "You only like me when you're high." People think that. One part of this theory I don't like is that there is no evidence that Celeste ever partook in drugs. And if she did, that's actually even more insidious considering that's a huge part typically of what child predators do. Even traffickers, they like to get their victims hooked on drugs to keep them compliant, to keep them the way that they want them. So if she were to, in a crazy off chance theory, overdose on drugs, he's 1,000% responsible if it's happening the way we think it happened. That's still murder. It doesn't... The second accidental theory is that because of the Tesla, it has a dent in the back. Some people are hypothesizing, theorizing that maybe someone accidentally ran Celeste over and she passed away. This theory, some people like to think that it was David. Other people like to think that it was someone on David's team who did not even tell David because they would get fired. And they did not call the police because then they would go to jail.
That's crazy.
But it's just hard to imagine that they wouldn't call the police.
Yeah, or just leaving the car unattended like that.
Yeah, after you hit them. And then wouldn't David be like, why is there a dent in my car? Mm-hmm. Who did that? I mean, I guess you could make up a story, but it doesn't make sense. So then we go on to the next theory, which is probably the vast majority of netizens, that he murdered her. And a lot of them are just digging through his digital footprint. And the first theory that people have is that he is very jealous. He is very possessive. And in a crime of passion, still does not negate anything. He murdered her because he is that possessive of a person. So this is like the crime of passion theory. His TikTok reposts are a gold mine for this theory. I mean, it's alarming. It feels like he's telling us something because like the first few, it's a little weird. After 10, 20 of them, you're starting to feel like, what is this message that you're sending people? I felt like I was losing my mind. My brain was turning into a jello cake with ham slices inside. It was not a good time. Rapid fire, let's go through some of his reposts. A TikTok creator shows themselves crashing out in their room, and the caption reads, "Me realizing you won't get to heaven if you end your shit."
Again, this is like when?
This is around the time of, most of these are from 2024 when they are in a rough patch, allegedly.
Oh, so okay.
Yes, but they go way back too. There's some in 2022. That is when netizens think that they briefly broke up. There's some scattered throughout 2023. Then other ones read, "I really need to cry. I really need to scream out until my lungs bleed. I need to smash my head into a wall and sob on the floor like a kid. But I can't cry. I can't scream. I can only sit solemnly in a serene manner, holding it, bottling it, saving it for when I break, for when I crack, to let loose on somebody who doesn't deserve it and hurt somebody who deserves better. I know because it's a pattern. I'm predictably awful. I live on a clock, a schedule that dates exactly what will I do, when and why, because it's happened before. I am truly, utterly, undeniably pathetic." He's also a very jealous person if you just look at his reposts. Quote, "My biggest fear in a relationship is them having to see me in an episode when I can't help them right away, when I'm too depressed to get out of bed, when I start getting mad at everything, when I'm just not acting like the version of me that they know." Or another quote, "When the smallest thing upsets me and now I have to be nonverbal and easily irritated for minutes until I can let it go." Quote, "Hopeless devotion is my love language. I was not born for casual romance. I will give you my heart, soul, blood, literally anything you want from me." More TikToks, quote, "When she was so beautiful that it makes you start thanking God for meeting her. She is a walking masterpiece." Quote, "Unfortunately, I'm my mom's son, so I'll make sure you're doing good despite how I'm feeling." Another one is a skit of two people, and it says what it's like being in a BPD relationship. And it shows the girl in the relationship going through a variety of emotions against her partner. I don't know what he's trying to say with that one. There's also a lot of woe is me TikTok reposts, like how you can do everything and she will still not like you type of repost, about how consideration is the highest form of love. One TikTok repost has a whole list of things that they consider micro cheating, which I guess David agrees with. And they read, "Being touchy with someone else, secretly messaging or talking to someone, deleting messages, talking to someone you know your partner is uncomfortable with, turning to someone else when your relationship is getting rocky, lying about your relationship status, not being straightforward to other people that you're in a relationship to someone who likes you, seeking friendships with someone you find attractive, complaining about your partner to another person." He also reposts American Psycho, where the killer brings the gun to the head of a blonde girl on the couch. Then another one is the song that used, "We're never breaking up, bitch. It's either you, it's either me, or nobody else in this world, bitch. I love you to death."
Never breaking up, bitch. It's either you, it's either me, or nobody else in this world. Bitch, I love you to death.
It's like a music or a movie quote. Another one says, "A woman who thinks before making a decision and says, my boyfriend wouldn't like this, is the girl you gotta keep around." Another one reads, "Now I've become the very thing that you've swore to destroy." Another one is just like a man very passionately explaining to his viewers about how if your girlfriend is talking badly about a guy, he says along the lines of, if she's bad-mouthing the guy, her mouth is gonna be on him soon. And he has this whole theory of when girls talk badly about a guy, that means they secretly like them and they're going to try to fuck them.
Do not let her badmouth another man around you, period, point blank, because she will fuck him. It doesn't matter.
That's a really crazy take.
Yeah, and a lot of girls in the comments were just like, no, I just kind of hate the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I just hate the guy. I don't know what to say. This one is a crazy one. He reposts this guy. And originally I thought maybe, because this was like before other information came out. So originally I was thinking maybe he reposted it because he thought it was funny, but it was a guy getting riled up. And maybe that's the comedic effect. He's like ranting and he said, you know, when females have a street boyfriend, they get so surprised when they get shot.
Like, females be so dumb. Like, females will see a nigga walking around with a gun all day, and then when the nigga die, they be so surprised. Bitch, he literally had a fucking firearm.
And so he's explaining, why are you so surprised, bitch? Because, like, that's the life that you signed up for. Like, your guy that you're dating is in 25 different groups of people who hang out with guns. Why are you shocked that he was in a shootout and got shot? This one is fascinating because Gus was allegedly killed. Do you remember? According to the DM messages between allegedly Celeste's brother.
This is news?
Yeah, there's like DMs between allegedly Celeste's brother and somebody else, and they were talking about Gus, and they said that Gus is dead for other reasons.
What?
And then Gus is in those screenshots where she said that Gus was mad at her. Allegedly, this is her saying that. So some people are saying, okay, what if he found out that and then Gus was killed, like shot by somebody else by accident. And then he's like, Celeste was sad or upset or shocked or traumatized. And he's like going off like, what are you so shocked for?
Yeah.
Because it's a very random repost.
Yeah.
And it's,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see the point, yeah.
Yeah, it's very like, and it's also, it was just out of nowhere. Like when you go through his reposts, like he loves his emo reposts and then all of a sudden this, and it just did not seem like his form of comedy. His form of comedy is typically that edgelord comedy. So this was not in line with it. So I didn't think it was, it was just weird. Or another TikTok repost says, when she starts posting herself looking fine as fuck on her story, but I already know what she looks like. There's one that everyone has been talking about where he's chopping chicken, like a guy, this is a repost, is chopping chicken, like mincing chicken meat. Me, if I see her talk with other dudes. Another repost has the caption, "This is that difficult?" And it's a slideshow of text messages and the explanation being, if any guy tries to text my girlfriend, this is how she should respond. So there's like imaginary guys saying, "You're fine as fuck," like, "What up?" Blocked. Hey, heart eye emoji. My boyfriend will hang you on the fence by your underwear. Bye. You got a boyfriend? You got life insurance? Bye. One TikTok is the sound, "Just tell me what I need to do to change, I'll do it. Like, you make me happy." With the caption being, "Sounding like this because I would do anything for us to work." Another one says, "Need a girl who doesn't interact with a single person on the face of this earth." Yeah, and then another one is a guy laying in the snow dramatically, and it just is captioned, "Me daydreaming about all the dates you will never go on with me. My mood is based on when they text me back. The feeling of getting rejected by someone you love, I wish I could change things like that. I love you, but I'm not what you need anymore. I'm proud of my heart. It's been played, stabbed, cheated, burned down, and broken, but still somehow works. Me staring at the love of my life, slowly losing interest in me and leading me on instead of telling me. Me staring at the 'I can't this weekend, sorry' text. This is my 4th time trying to see her. Me watching her replies get shorter and shorter. If my girl tells you happy birthday, you can have her, cause I don't know why she happy it's your birthday. Me watching her scream after I pour boiling water on her after she told a boy happy birthday because why you happy he made it another year.
Whoa.
My damaged ass always thinks some sneaky shit is going on.
Wow.
Or another one, when she blocked me to everything, so I pull up to the function disguised as her granddad. Another one, when it's silent in your room and you start hearing her voice. Another one, me after running over every guy who's ever looked at her. And then people have been talking about the Tesla dent. Sometimes I go through her following and start to hyperventilate. Another one, what do you mean he? And it's like when she's telling you a story. And then another one, it's like, you're in her DMs. It's like, I guess him talking to another guy. He reposted it. You're in her DMs. I'm doing a deep dive into her entire digital footprint. When she comes over and she goes through your phone, instead of cheating, she sees every guy in her following on my search bars. Me after hearing about a boy she used to like, so now I have to find his address, social security number, and mother's maiden name. Imagine talking to other men when you have me. Are you insane?
These are TikTok reposts?
Yeah.
Damn, there's that many of these type of posts? It's just like photos and words, just words on the screen?
Yeah, the amount of like digital footprint that our team has been scouring through. Yeah, like we had to split it up and then we had to, and then at one point we were like cross-referencing it was bad. Even just his Twitter alone.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was going through all of his TikToks and his TikTok reposts. It took so long. There's so much. And then his Instagram is another beast. Yeah.
Wow.
And then if you like, look, yeah. He's just very chronically online. Another one that went viral is a creator saying, not saying I'm jealous or anything, but I hope whoever flirts with you other than me gets hit by multiple cars. Now, there is a now new contention. So these are all TikToks that are pretty much unrelated to David. And then David starts reposting TikToks of people using his sound of his songs, right? But a lot of people will do that. And so people are saying, wait, he's just being a celebrity. He's just promoting his song. But these are the ones that he chooses because I'm sure thousands of people are posting his sound.
Yeah.
One of them is me when Pookie doesn't answer me within 5 minutes. There's ones that read, I lied, I'm jealous of everything, pass me the Draco, which I had to look it up, but it's slang for a pistol style AK-47, I think. Then another one, alarming, is a repost of a guy dancing and the caption reads, life is good, this is how life feels when you aren't dating a lying hoe. Another repost alarmingly reads, was I too controlling or did I just want to be respected? Was I too controlling or did I just ask for reassurance? Was I too controlling or did I just care about you? Was I too controlling or was I just concerned for your safety? Was I too controlling or is it because I love you too hard? Was I controlling or were you just out late drunk? Was I controlling or I didn't want to get cheated on again? Just because I care about you doesn't make me controlling.
See, like all of these, right? It could you know, you can view it before and everything is like, okay, this artist is being so
edgy,
right? Like, cause that aligns with his brand, like the type of music he makes.
And he does a lot of shit posts. So people could be like, maybe he's shit posting and reposting this because he's like trying to pump a song later that's like crazy and weird.
But we just don't know. We just don't know what actually is going on.
Yeah. Then another creator using a sound that says, are you scared? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you got going on. Like, are you okay? And the caption reads, when I say fuck him, just block the guy. And he hesitates because she doesn't want to be mean. Another one is when you're having a good time and they ask, if we ever break up, it's going to be you breaking up with me, but you already know what that means. That was like a whole trend. And then another one reads, can we just have a mature relationship where we don't have to worry about each other flirting with someone else or social media bullshit or friends trying to sneak with me or you? Like, can we grow together mentally, spiritually, religiously, emotionally, and physically? Let's show this generation that loyalty still exists. And now all the comments are, mature, she was a child. And people have been commenting, if these are all about Celeste, he's likely vilifying her in his head, assuming that she lied about everything and, I mean, she's a child. So people are saying there's so many red flags. What are you talking about? And then some people are saying, okay, well, there are ones that he reposts, but they are using his sound. They're using his song. So it's just him promoting like any other artist would. But others are saying, wait, but look at the ones that he's chosen because likely thousands of people are posting with his song. So one of his songs, Crashing, he chooses 2 and they have the captions, me waiting for that motherfucking notification every time I'm left undelivered. Another one says, when you always consider their feelings, but they never consider yours.
Yeah, it's all in the same vein, right?
Yeah.
It's all in that type of energy.
And clearly he is someone that is not only possessive and emotional, it just seems like he is very much in his feels and prioritizes his emotions highly. Just like a lot. And you can tell by his repost, he'll repost things like, sorry, I was weird. I wanted you and I'm hurting so much, bro. I need someone to show me that they care, not just say it. All I do is listen to music and disappoint people. My life feels normal for 15 minutes before I have a sudden wave of sadness that lasts almost a week. Could I genuinely hate myself more at this point? I think I'm being played, but I'm already attached. I'm not even mad. I'm hurt. No matter how good your heart is, eventually you have to start treating people the way they treat you. Another one just reads, motherfuckers, when I start acting mentally ill after I told them I'm mentally ill. And people have been pointing it out, not just like he's in his feels and he has these romanticized versions of love, not because they want to feel any sympathy for him, but people have been pointing it out because it feels as if he probably could have used this against Celeste. For example, in another interview, he says this about love.
Love shouldn't be transactional. I feel like most of the time, especially like nowadays, people get into a relationship, or we use the term situationship a lot now, where you have to give something to gain something. And I feel like when love is real, it's both parties participating in love. And that's why I love the term falling into it, because it's like sometimes you don't expect it. It could be like super rushed. And people like to take the term, I'm taking it slow, or we should take it slow. It's like love doesn't dictate the timing of it. And you can't really predetermine what that feeling is to you.
Again, people think it's like him trying to tell Celeste, like, yeah, but I'm not a predator. I just couldn't control that I fell in love with you, and like made it this whole romantic love line story.
And I think when people try to plan too much or overcompensate for their lack of emotional intelligence, they kind of make a bunch of excuses for love, and then it's just like more infatuation than the actual emotion.
Some people think that in his repost, he already knew what was coming, because there's one very viral repost now where it's just a slideshow of like where I'm gonna be in a few years slide. And it's just a single mattress in an empty room leaned up against the wall. And it just looks very lonely. I think that was the aesthetic, but people are saying, oh, so in jail. Or even the funeral aspect. Some people are saying, okay, so funeral theory. He wanted a funeral theme for his concert. This is the comment. And had a casket and a book for people to write messages and leave their respects, because he started to feel guilty that he knew Celeste was dead, but nobody else did. So she never got a send off because he's very religious. So he is doing it in his own way through dedicating the concert to her and her funeral without people even knowing it. It's also twisted, but it would make sense if he thought he loved her. Then another repost of Lil Wayne. It's just like a clip of Lil Wayne. And this is around 2024, so last year. It's saying, I'm not saying that I didn't do nothing wrong, but now I'm doing it right. That's all we can say. Cash money. Fuck how we used to be. Now how we need to be. And then he also reposted another TikTok of a soldier in a movie explaining how he killed someone, and that person didn't even fight back. They just died. It's like a movie clip. Others think that he might, if he is arrested, go for an insanity defense. I mean, people are like heavily speculating now just because there are some weird reposts. One reads, I wish I could live a quiet life, but I'd be hearing voices, so... Another one reads, when I end up tripping over nothing again, but it's only because I never liked anybody like this before and the voices in my head be telling me stuff. But it could also be him trying to be an edgelord. In one interview, he gives tips on how to be social media famous, and he says,
be a different person every single day. Sometimes you gotta be bipolar with it too. You gotta be a bipolar content creator. You gotta pop up real serious one day, then switch it up and be real funny, then be sad, and be happy. Like, you have to find your fans and find that target audience in whatever way you can. So think outside the box.
And then the next theory of her getting murdered, that he murdered her. So the first one was jealousy, possessiveness, a crime of passion. The next one is that she realized that she was being groomed and she was going to say something. Or maybe he had, quote, moved on, and she realized that everything he said was a lie, and it's starting to dawn on her that she had been groomed. And he killed her because he could not let it get out. Then there is another theory that she was pregnant, which is why David would have to kill her. She can't give birth without there being questions, without their alleged relationship coming up. Now, the timeline is all over the place with this theory, with some timelines showing that either Celeste would have had to have miscarried or terminated, or there's a baby out there, which of course, these are just timelines of speculations. But some people have run with it, and people have even been putting out AI-generated videos of police finding remains in David's Hollywood Hills backyard of an infant, which is not real. there's no way to even know if she was pregnant, and I don't think it's something that the police would even tell anyone anytime soon. There's a screenshot of an alleged Discord chat where it shows David allegedly telling everyone, I'll join the group chat with my wifey and give you all the story time. Me and @deleted_user got a kid on the way. We don't know if that's true. We don't know if he's joking. Crazy. We don't know if the screenshot is altered. That's from December 7th, 2024. So the end of last year. Then there is a screenshot of someone commenting from January of 2024. Please adopt me. I need it. David allegedly responds back at 0907. It's no longer an active account. 0907, September 7th. That's Celeste's birthday. So people think this is Celeste. Should we? So he tagged her and said, should we? Like, should we adopt?
Again, not sure this is real.
Yeah. But it's
quite specific.
Yeah. Like, if people were going to fake things, I think they would fake crazier things.
Yeah.
Like more.
And using birthday? Is that her username then?
Yeah. But it's like she wasn't posting anything on there. It doesn't seem. It seems like she went through multiple different accounts. So maybe it's just like, let me just make random accounts. And then I did see there is this young couple, really young couple that we're expecting. And they did use his song, There Goes My Baby. And he reposted that. And then there's also another one from a mother with her baby, January 4th, 2024. She's not particularly famous from what I know because I looked into her account. It didn't seem particularly massive. And I don't know, maybe she worked on David's team. Maybe they know each other personally. But the caption is, no one prepared me for this type of love. And she's holding her baby, like newborn baby. So people are like, that's a little weird. Yeah. And then another one of a guy that says, and he looks like he's trying to explain something, like imaginary explaining something. And the words are POV, me practicing how I'm going to tell our future kids how everybody wanted their fine ass mom, but she chose little old me. There's no proof that she was pregnant. There's no proof that there was a baby, but some people even think that There Goes My Baby, that song, is after a termination and not actually about Celeste, and using Celeste swinging while like the world is burning, because it's like a very, I don't know. Then there's the complicated theory, where people think it's just complicated. Some people think that the older Celeste is involved, that this is a crazy allegation. I don't think her staying silent about this situation is an admission of any sort of guilt or connection. I think that she could be traumatized. She could be working with the police. There could be so many different explanations that we don't know. And I don't think it would be smart for her to come out and do a tell-all right away of like, this is what happened. I think any of that information that would be useful would be the most useful telling just the police. So I do understand that. But people say because of her silence, because she hasn't clarified which videos are her, maybe she was jealous. There are some people going around saying, hey, I knew them, and she was always jealous of the younger Celeste when she would come around. But again, that could be nobody. That could be a guy in the middle of Nebraska who has never met these people making a Reddit post. So I don't know. I just think that's a crazy allegation to throw on someone. So I don't know. This was not her car that Celeste was found in, so it's hard to even connect her to the death without even a little bit more. Other people are connecting other people on David's team. Other people are connecting that maybe David is the one that killed her, but there's a lot of other people involved in maybe hiding or disposing of a body. So that's why it's getting very complicated. They just feel like there's more than just David. And so that is pretty much the main theories right now of what has happened. More people are joining the David is innocent theory day by day. We've been monitoring online, and it just seems like it because they just keep saying, oh, so there's lots of fake news. People are saying that he was dropped as a suspect. And the police never said that. Like, they never said that. They just said that no one has been named as a suspect. So that's not at all true. But I think every day that passes that he is not arrested, people think that he's innocent. But I would say, like the police said, it could take weeks. It could take months. We don't know. We don't know if this is going to be a state case, a federal case, if it's any case at all. And if it's a case at all against David, it could be against somebody else. It could be against multiple people. I don't know. But there have just been a lot of memes, I guess, that have been coming out of this situation. People have been ad-libbing David's songs. For the song Feel It, one of his most popular releases, the top comment now reads, bro is going to feel it in court. About his song Somewhere Uptown, people are commenting, bro about to do a summer in jail. To which someone comments, shut up. He wasn't even talking about Celeste in this song. As for the song Crashing, the comments used to read, this guy is 1,000% proof that you don't need $1,000 equipment for quality music. Now the comments read, it all come crashing down. Yeah, it is. It does, David. It does. In David's self-published mini documentary, the top comment now reads, no, bro, we're going to be getting a new full documentary. In another interview, he's reacting to a documentary, a brief little segment, his mini documentary that he posted, and his parents are giving him life lessons. And he states he's super close to his family. His mom tells him, David, stay focused, keep your heart pure, and keep your morals, and don't change for anyone. David laughs and said, I forgot how dramatic this was.
I forgot how dramatic this was. They're acting like I'm dead.
Then people have been pointing to another interview about his Withered project, where he says,
with all these songs on the project, it basically takes you through this kind of goodbye message to myself, and it's kind of like a farewell.
Which now have people concerned, questioning, depending on who you are, that he will be self-exiting before a potential arrest. But a lot of people don't think so because, I don't know. This case is just very messy. A lot of netizens are also upset with the way that Celeste is always described as being 15 years old when she was likely 14 when she passed. It feels subtle, but I think that a lot of specifically women are upset because there was another news outlet that called her like a young woman. And it's like, she's a little girl. Like, why do we keep always trying to make predators, alleged predators, sound better by making the victims sound older? She's 14. Like, say she's 14. Others are pointing out even more nuanced things. One netizen comment, which I thought was really great because, I mean, I guess maybe I felt it, but I didn't even know how to put it into words. And this was very eye-opening, but it reads, a lot of people are romanticizing this a little too much by saying he was obsessed with her. He idolized her. She was a child who was just starting to grow up, and he was a predator with a secret. I think the truth of the matter is even more depressing than most people realize. He liked children, and that child was starting to grow and have her own thoughts. And predators who like children don't like that at all. It's not some twisted love story, and he's not a mastermind. He's just a pathetic, disgusting little man who would likely had begun grooming another little girl given time. Others point out Celeste's vigil, and they think that it's really depressing, and they say, but how about we do this before she was found dead? Maybe she could have come home. Maybe she would have stayed home. It just seems like a lot of people failed her. I don't know because we haven't heard many statements, but to some degree, maybe her family failed her. And then it seems like the police definitely failed her. It just seems like multiple failures before what happens. And that is, so far, all the updates we have on the David and Celeste case. I'm sure there's going to be new updates. I'm sure there's going to be new AI-generated videos and rumors. I will try to keep you posted as best as possible. And if there is ever like an arrest made, an arraignment, we'll try to be there. But it's a lot. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next one.